that's a good point. I mean, it's picking up my microphone. Does anyone want to speak for me for Discord?
Oh.
Yay! Nothing's broken. OBS is working, and we are ready to go.
Testing.
Thank you, Caliban.
Don't
Your kid's
get
ears
so...
in nesting.
What was that, sir?
Okay, no, I can hear it.
Okay,
I was...
just a bit of a delay on the stream,
Yeah.
Last session, you guys kind of were continuing off after our time skip. We did a little bit of catching up on what's been going on. You guys found out about your next mission, a place known as the Chorus Gate. There is a set of miasmic monsters on there, some of them behaving quite oddly, and therefore your class is going to be dispatched. Axel's going with you, but this time he's going to try and take a more backseat approach in which he will only really get involved if requested or, things go really wrong. Otherwise, it's kind of going to be left up to you in its most part. You guys did some investigation of the location, investigation around V-Rexes. Axel got hold of one for you guys to get into combat with, and that's I think that's where we left off, was you guys having defeated that and the Ravagers. I don't think we had finished Friday in a sense, so if there was something that you guys wanted to do with your Friday evenings, you certainly could. And this weekend there is a holiday that is sort of usually celebrated, but is kind of dubiously on this year because of the issues that have been had around food. It's a food-based holiday, and with the trains not coming in as regularly, there's a little bit of what is actually happening tomorrow at the moment going around. I don't know if there's anyone you want to find, or whether you want to head for the weekend or not.
We would have at some point talked about what Clara and I talked about with regards to this being a holiday, and thus suggesting that we as a group go out on
a restaurant crawl, I think, was the sort of term that was used.
For that purpose, I think Dave would spend his Friday evening going, essentially, blue cop restaurant searching and seeing what different kinds of cuisines adding Dulacop are even available in city. Try to figure out based on which of these he would want to invite the party to. Doing a quick selection and then trying out the top 2 or 3 of them out with a oatmeal.
Give me an investigation check, Dave.
Okay. Investigation.
11. After combat practice, you head out into I2 and have a look around. You see several banners up in different places. As you're walking out of the main square that kind of has, there's East Academy, there's the embassy building for all the foreign officials, sort of across the plaza from where East Academy is. And between those two buildings, there's Old Vic's Conservatory, which is a conservatory tea house. And as you're walking past, you can see there is a banner up saying that they're doing teas from all over different places. And if you come in tomorrow, you can sit down and if you ever been to one of those cider bars where they've got 4 or 5 ciders lined up and you drink some of each, it's kind of that, but for different brewed teas from around the world. Walking past that and heading deeper into I2, you don't find too many places that do Dulukop's cuisine from the mountains. What you do end up finding is a place that is run by a couple from Dudukop who have used ingredients here to sort of like recreate some of the more traditional dishes. So it's not like, how do I put it? Like you know to a sense, Dafer, that it's not fully traditional, but it's in the right vein. The flavors are correct and all that sort of stuff. They don't really have like a banner up about doing anything special tomorrow, but I mean, since you guys are just sort of like planning on going around from place to place, that in itself isn't so much of a problem.
I think I'd keep a note of that place. Could I try to like at least find a second to give like Uther a starting point in case he also goes to look for one? Or is that all I find?
Yeah, I think unfortunately with an evening day fair, like it's a big district walking around for a while. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I after having found the place and like I don't know, trying a short like meal from them, I post in the group chat that I have my suggestion for our restaurant crawl. Like I named the place. What is it called?
Mountains Peckish.
Okay.
Caliban, you receive a message from your mum saying that she is in the city and she will be visiting tomorrow morning.
Caliban just like looks at it, just sends. I will make sure to make any necessary arrangements to make you comfortable, and then just sort of sends, and then fingers like on the scroll, like missed you.
Message back, miss you too, Calabunny.
Oh no! The big question I wonder now is, will we ever manage to learn this nickname?
He will kill us in our sleep, I think. If we...
Yeah, but guys, you forget. I am to be his wife. I must meet the parents. I'm sure she will say it at least once.
She does also include that she picked up a gift from Trismia that she is bringing for you for Unity Day, since she was in the locale and thought she should grab something.
The Dafer sends out the name of the restaurant to the group chat. 3 little dots appears under Adhira's name, and then she will give the name of the restaurant, the Lamb Sheep restaurant, that she and Andrus went to on the date.
Yeah, I think that is in I2 as well. Yeah, it's near the Stacks, which is also kind of where Mountains Peckish is as well. So they're quite close to each other.
Nice.
Is that near to the place where I went for tea and then I picked up that plant?
Yes, yeah, that is near that tea house as well.
Yeah, cool. I will give the name of that tea house. I also need to go back there anyway because they need to smuggle a letter out to my dad.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, 3 places in the stack so far. I don't know whether Caliban would look for a place as well, or whether he's just keen to go on a tour with them.
I'm not gonna forward anything, but I am gonna like make a mention. Hey, my mother's going to be coming soon, so make yourselves presentable. more presentable.
Like
Then you more presentable than you were with.
Do
with
you
my
send the
father.
first message first and then like clarify it afterwards, where you're like, wait, no, that's rude. Like,
No. Okay, no, I'll write it out. Like,
We're watching this fumbling happen in real time. The dots disappear. Disappear.
Truly your uncle's nephew.
Caliban von Howling is typing.
Were we not presentable the last time we met his family?
all right, like I'll write it out.
Technically, I think everyone was, apart from Clara, right? Clara was specifically unpresented, as it were.
Yes.
And Uther, anything.
Dave?
That's a low bar for you, then, Clara.
So there at all. Understood.
Uther, was there anything?
Since
Dave
a ferret in
just-
her stand.
I don't know what I would contribute for this gorging ourselves holiday, since Dafer seems to have found the one restaurant in the city.
Yeah. I mean, 3 is a pretty, like, for food, going to 3
Yeah.
places is fairly,
That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner
substantial. Yeah,
scheduled right
true.
there.
True. You could do it that way.
Cool.
So is there anything else you'd like to do with your evening, I guess, Uther?
I just took a bite of something, sorry.
That's okay, I got you at that time. Like a waiter coming to ask about your meal.
Going to bounce to the scheduling of, or preparing for upcoming mission stuff, and I am not expecting to learn a language in the amount of time we have to prep for this, but I would like to learn some, common phrases.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me...
At least that way I can, know when I'm being cussed out.
Yeah, just give me an intelligence check for the evening, kind of looking through some books on the Tristmerian language, which I can't quite remember the name of off the top of my head. I think it's something like Trident.
Yeah, it's Trident.
Trident, thank you. Looking through, Uther, one of the things that you find interesting that keeps distracting you is most of trade, like most of the common tongue that has been spoken right now is kind of just stolen from Triton. That's it. So like you keep thinking like, oh, what's the word for this? And you like go to it, you're like, it's the same. So you end up learning a lot in the sense that you don't learn very much at all, which is interesting to you, I guess, Uther, where you're just sort of like, maybe I'll be okay. Some words that you do find that are like very different, mostly around like seafaring and things like that. Like a lot of their words for roadways and other things like that are kind of the Triton words for riverways as well. So like their word for train tracks is like completely different. But then you're skipping through this book and you see that basically the word guard comes from Triton. So like in Triton, guard is just G-A-R-D, and it's sort of like split off into G-U-A-R-D in trade language. So that, like, again, there are some things that just seem pretty adjacent as you're flicking through.
More vowels, got it.
Yeah. Well, that's more trade.
French all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of that in there. Clara, apart from sending that message, is there anything you wanted to do with your Friday evening?
I need to go see the tea house people to smuggle my letter out of the city.
Yeah, did you want to go that evening, or do you want to go... Because you're going there tomorrow, but I don't know if you'd rather do that privately.
Yeah, I kind of need to do that ASAP as well, but also I don't want lovely, like, night out to be like, oh, by the way, sorry guys, I have to commit political espionage in the middle. Can you give me 5 minutes?
Oh, cool. Can I help?
Be right back. Go ahead and order entrees without me.
Yeah. Heading out that way, obviously you know where you're going. The same sweet little, like, plant store with different plants that kind of remind you from home. There's that smell of like the sort of sweet scent of pollinating flowers, especially now we've gotten into like summer properly. A lot of the flowers are like either fully in bloom or maybe starting to wane just a little bit under the heat. Stepping inside, the old woman that runs the store looks up at you, Clara, and smiles and says, "It's good to see you again."
Hello. Have you been keeping well?
Business is always well this time of year. Happy to say.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Are you here for another plant?
I'm gonna do a quick look around. Is anyone else here?
Give me a perception check, yeah. And 10. There's a young girl out the front, looks to be local, maybe like a granddaughter of the lady that runs the store or something, Clara. That's the only person you can really see. Obviously there are people like across the street and in the street and things like that, but otherwise,
Yeah.
seems pretty quiet.
I need a favor, actually.
She straightens up a little bit, looks at you, and says, "Of course, Miss Maddox."
Please, just Clara. I need you to get this letter out of the city for me.
She nods slowly and says, "I understand things must be difficult for you. Please, come into the back here with me." And she sort of like ushers you into the tiniest of little offices at the back, where you can see she keeps like information of what plants will be coming in and what plants will be leaving, and there are packages of letters exchanged with home and things like that. And she looks at you and says, "I won't ask too many questions. I guess I just want to know who it's going to."
It's going to my father. I should probably clarify, because that makes it seem worse than it actually is. As part of helping a friend, we're trying to take down a ring of people who are selling goddess artifacts and other important things. In order for them to do so, we are feigning the knowledge that I'm betrothed to a son of the family. I need to get a message to my father quickly to tell him that that's not actually what's happening, so that he's aware of what we're trying to do and we don't accidentally end up causing an incident.
How complex. But I understand the importance of this, and I can understand why you wouldn't want someone reading such a letter who wasn't your father. Yes. I mean, I've never sent a letter to nobility before. Is there something I can put on the letter or mention on the envelope that might... I mean, there's no reason for them to open a letter from a woman like me.
Yes, actually. You keep a lot of plants here from home. Do you keep any flowers?
Well, yes, of course.
My perfume It's made of specific flowers from Heaven's Pillars. It cost me an arm and a leg to buy in here, but my father would recognize it immediately. I don't think I've gone a day without it since I was about 8.
I think we can. Yes. She kind of. There's another space, like you've gone into a little office, and in the back there's like a greenhouse where the ceiling's been like purposely removed and replaced with glass panels to let the light in properly. And there is like all manner of plants back here, not just from your home, but like from other places in the world as well. You even see that there's like a flowering desert cactus in the middle of the room, sort of like pride of place, with these almost like big blossoming kind of like lotus flowers coming out of the top of this cactus as it is emerging in the middle of the room. She says, there must be something in here somewhere, something that you'd recognize.
I know exactly what I'm looking for. They're sometimes called mayflowers or milkmaids. They're this little... That's it, the little pink ones.
Yeah, she's like stepped aside to let you. As soon as you said the first name, she sort of just moves aside to let you through.
It's weird to see these again. But it's, he'll recognize the smell immediately.
Okay. Well, in that case, with the scent on the letter, I'll have it sent as soon as possible.
Thank you. I really appreciate you doing this, and I wouldn't normally ask.
Gloria looks at you and just says, I said before, anything for your family, and I meant it.
I really do appreciate it. I know you probably won't, but if there's anything you feel the need to ask, please let me know. I'm starting to rack up quite the amount of things I feel like I can pay you back for.
There is one thing you could do.
Of course.
She picks up the pink flowers and hands them to you and says, take these with you.
Might I ask why?
Because you seem to love them so.
Oh.
Thank you. I will. I'll make sure I get a vase for them as well.
She just smiles and nods and says, I know they're in good hands with you.
Okay. Oh, also, I'll be bringing some friends around to the tea house tomorrow. If you feel like it, please stop by and say hello while we're in there.
I most certainly will. I'll see you tomorrow, Clara.
I'll see you around.
See you around. And she, with like that sort of conspiratorial look to you, heads into her office to package up the letter and get it noted to be sent out, basically.
Lovely.
Yeah, anyone else for anything on Friday, or are we moving to Saturday morning?
Uther, you get a text around 10 p.m., like nighttime, from Adhira saying, how do you feel about exploring the sewers on Sunday?
Sure, which side?
What are the two sides again?
Well, I mean, there's, sewers in every district, and, like, where do you want to start?
Directly under school, for starters.
Yeah, so more around, under I2 is where you meet Uther, and Adhira just means kind of like around the area you guys were before, because that's the Well, no, it's not the closest because you guys travel a little bit. You could try and find a closer way into the sewers to the actual, to the academy as well tomorrow, on Sunday, I mean. Because, like, finding access is another thing as well.
I'll talk with Clara tomorrow while we're out. See if I can get her on board.
I will consult the maps.
You do what you do.
And yeah, I guess I'll start doing that.
I feel like Uther just loves any chance he can to just research and pour over documents.
In another world, this is not a rogue.
In another world, this is a detective.
So those messages are exchanged late at night. Heading to bed that night, it is a calm night. It's one of those nights where it's like so warm that for most of you, the like duvet isn't really on you. It's like a little difficult to get to sleep. You end up waking up a couple of times. Itira might be the one who does the best out of all of this. Like, maybe even Itira still has like her duvet like fully over her body like all night. Yeah, Dafer and Uther might be having a harder time because like between mountaintops, although I think mountaintops would get like quite extreme weather swings in terms of hot and cold as well. But yeah, when you wake in the morning, there is a sort of murmur outside of your dorms. It sounds like someone giving like a Q and A outside the dorms. There's like a bunch of people gathered around with someone in the middle, fielding questions and sort of like giving a talk. And this is at like 8 in the morning or something like that when this activity is sort of like buzzing outside.
Oh, what the shit.
It's like inside the academy walls as well.
Basically, like rings under the eyes from like terrible sleep. Eyes barely open. What is? Wait. Okay. Yeah. What's going on?
Sounds like someone is doing an interview.
Oh. Like, Dave listens concentratedly for a second. I can make out his murmur. I don't. Where is it coming from?
I'm just gonna like, do we have like a peephole in the door?
Yeah, there's a couple of windows by the door on either side as well that you can like peek around if you'd like.
Yeah, I just want to have a look at, see if I can see who it is.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Sure. Better than a 10, please, Clara.
21.
Oh, I asked.
There's like a full circle of students. Some of them combat students. Some of them logistics. Like literally, like the full spectrum of students here. You even see some of the instructors gathered. Instructors for like the general topics, like gathered around. The woman who is in amongst them all has hair that you've only ever seen one other place. It is like Caliban-ish silver hair. She's got deep red lipstick. She's wearing clothes that has this sort of like Audrey Hepburn sort of like vibe, like golden age of cinema, big glasses, the kind of like hood, the early morning. And she seems to be fielding questions about linguistics, you want to say, talking about specifically migrations of words between, like, you know, like how Shakespeare invented certain words that weren't commonly used in language until they were used in a play. She talks about entertainment and how it's like informing language. But she's also talking about some sort of like it sounds like she has recently come back from some place, and there seems to be some question of like what it was like to go around the Trismerian coast.
Is Caliban awake yet?
You would have to be very awake.
Or is he present here? Like, Dafer and I are very obviously peering nosily. Is anyone else here?
Make a perception check.
Is Caliban hiding?
Fucking, how many of these do I have to make back to back?
17.
He's right behind you.
Also peering.
Am I to assume that that is another Von Halleck?
Ever observational, Clara.
Thank you. I pride myself on it. Well, I need to go make myself presentable. So I will return in 10 to 15 minutes.
He gives a deep, exaggerated bow. Of course.
Okay, don't lay it on too thick.
Caliban, it seems like she is very much lost in this, in the attention and the speaking, like the public speaking that she is doing at present. If you left her, she'd stay as long as they did. You know, like the sun would arc across the sky, it would be night, and she'd still be there if people wanted her to be. I don't know whether you want to go out at all, or whether you want to let this sort of like run its course some more.
I'll let it run its course, but like if she sees me, then she sees me.
Gotcha. I think after about 30 minutes, some of the instructors realize they've got to get back to doing certain things. So like, as they do, they mention some students that like she's clearly here to visit someone, and like groups start to peel away. And at that point, as that's happening, she feels the interest wane, and you watch her sort of like disengage from it, give her apologies, and then she starts walking towards the dormitory after asking like one of the nearby students, like, "This is the dormitory where Caliban is staying, yes?" And they nod, and she kind of walks up, and very light knock on the door.
Oh, I answer.
She pulls you into a hug. Caliban, are you wearing the scarf that she got you? Or...
I am absolutely wearing the scarf.
She hugs you, and as she pulls away, she like holds the scarf and like runs it between her own fingers, and she says, "Yes, good, my boy." And looks at you and says, "I came home, and your father had all manner of news for me. Imagine feeling like I'm the last one to hear. Honestly."
Well, he doesn't know where to begin. Like,
she looks at you and says, "I know, it's my fault for always being busy and being away. But at the same time, you must understand how it made me feel, Caliban." And she continues to like just look into your eyes and doing your half of the conversation for you if you don't respond.
it is no fault of your own.
Oh, of course not. Thank you, I knew you'd say that. As she like walks in and looks over.
Keeping up with the local politics, you would know that Father and myself take the partial blame.
Politics? This is family, my dear. Show me the ring.
The signet ring,
Kinda
or the ring that Terminus gave us.
the ring that Terminus gave you.
Oh boy. I show her my left hand.
It is delightful. She doesn't know it's fake.
Do I know it?
Well, sorry, the
I meant your
engagement,
betrothal.
I think Dave was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does the rest of the party know it's fake?
It's a good question. She
And here knows.
looks around. She spots you, Dafer, and says, "You must be from a little village out in Dulukop. Is that correct?"
Dafer like rubbing the last of the sleep from his eyes with the caffeine now kicking in. Yes, Dulukopian.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw the supplies being shipped to your home. What a good man you are.
Thanks.
She kind of looks at you and says, "Your home is pretty far from a train line, isn't it?"
It's not the easiest trip to get to.
Perhaps they could do with a vehicle? Something that ran off of the tracks.
Pretty much always. I mean, we have, I think, one, but that's pretty much it, and that thing does break down.
You must send me a letter at some point, or, we can exchange information. We can discuss your situation back home.
If it tilts his head slightly, then makes a mental note of it. That would be hard.
Is that coffee?
It indeed is.
She sits down at a little, breakfast bar and says, "May I?"
Of course. If you excuse me, I believe I still have breakfast to attend to. Actually, no, I do not. We do plan on doing a visit to the city, so I guess I'm saving the effort.
Oh, well, speaking of Unity Day celebrations, she pulls a very nicely decorated and wrapped box with a big bow on it, maybe about the size of a small hardback book from her, from a small bag that she's carrying, and holds it out to you. Caliban says, "Do share it with your friends."
Pardon?
She holds this present out to you and says to share it with your friends.
Take the present.
Yeah, take the present. I don't know if you want to open it or not, but she looks around and says, "Well, where's the rest of your class, Caliban?"
Well, it's so far it's only been Dafer, right?
Yeah, I don't know where Uther and Adhira are. Obviously, Clara went back to her room to get ready, although it's been some time, so.
Uther has once Uther heard who was out there, Uther's probably been sneakily just cleaning up the living area.
I think,
Respect.
as is the punchline for most of her mornings, it hard cuts from Uther doing all this preparation to Adhere just sprawled out, snoring, comforter is half off, just completely dead to the world.
Stepping out into the hallway, Caliban's mother kind of looks at you, Adhira, and says, "Jealous, such a natural beauty."
Huh? Oh!
Morning,
I'm
Vera.
sorry, you're early.
No, I'm exactly on time.
sort of glance over at the clock on the wall.
Caliban is standing behind his mother and just looking at you smugly.
Smugly in disapproval, or just smugly?
Smugly.
She pulls out
When?
a little like breakfast bar stool and pats it and says, "Come, Atira. We're just having coffee."
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am not there.
I'm sure you must have very busy Fridays. Getting your rest is important. Rest is productive.
I like to imagine as she's talking to Adhira, Adhira takes a while to realize that she's speaking in her native tongue.
Is she?
Hira,
Yeah, she if you speak Lamshi, she'll respond in Lamshi.
It takes her a few. The
Hira, since I'm already standing, do you want tea or coffee? I might as well make you
coffee,
some.
please.
Right.
She translates
Give me
for
a second.
Dafer and says she wants coffee.
Wait,
Oh.
you're
That's
speaking
what that
Lemshi.
was.
She looks back at you and says, "Of course, you started it."
I sort of shoot a glance at Caliban that says, "I hate how you're enjoying this." Just a very momentary look of you.
I was actually most looking forward to speaking
Cali-
to you in particular, Atira.
Where did you learn?
Where did I learn? Well, same place anyone learns, I suppose. Well, maybe not you, but I learned in a university.
How many other languages do you speak?
Most of them.
I try her Sylvan.
Play.
She responds in Sylvan.
That is very interesting.
She says, "I know," in Draconic.
Clara?
If you...
Clara's gonna stick her head out. Sorry, I'm late. What did I miss?
Nothing at all. It's so lovely to see you.
What language is she speaking in?
She would speak in your native tongue at that point, Clara. As you pop your hand out. If that's what this is what's going on, she'll play into it because she loves to.
The Draconic must have been you as well, then.
It most certainly was, yes. Although I must admit, Dafer has me beat on the beat the boop.
How do you
Caliban,
know I
how
speak
come you
that?
never told us your mother was so interesting?
Yes, Caliban, why wouldn't you?
It would be a greater surprise, and I could not. The words that I could describe would not be enough. He says, formulating as best of an excuse as he could.
Isn't he perfect? But I guess you already know that.
I'm just still stunned. I don't get the opportunity to speak in my native tongue very much.
Oh, that is a shame. Caliban must learn. I'll make sure of it.
Wait, hold on. Which language is
Taphon,
native?
I believe, is the...
Yeah.
I only speak trade, Zemestian, and Triton?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, which is Trasmerian language.
Yes, I taught him the Trasmerian language when he was quite young. We got tutors in for some of the other ones. Not that I can't speak High Zemestian, I just find it to be a stuffy language.
Well, if it's any consolation for him, I don't speak any Triton, so perhaps I should learn as well.
Learning a language changes how you think. I would recommend it.
Clara thinks about the fact that she speaks 5 languages and thieves can't, but says nothing.
So,
So,
I just got this
We-
idea that she also knows Steve's cat, but that's.
I did think, I was like, maybe I'm gonna tap out a message to Uther, but I think Clara would be too wary that she might actually know that too. We were told you weren't arriving for a while. Did Caliban have the wrong dates, or did you expedite your trip?
I happened to expedite the trip. I cut my my little opera tour short.
You didn't need to do that on our accord.
No, I did it on my accord. One must do what one
I'm gonna
must.
turn around to Caliban and just mouth, I love her.
Please come and take the other seat beside me. Adhira here was just having coffee with us.
I look at the space where Adhira is. I'm sure she'll wake up a little bit later. She's not a very good morning person.
She seems to be the best of morning people.
Wake.
This wild hair.
So do you have
Did
any
I
plans
hear-
while you're here?
What did you say, Clara? I missed that.
Do you have any plans while you're here?
Oh, well, I wanted to have a certain private conversation with a couple of you. Dropped off a present for Caliban, but other than that, I thought I'd have a look around. I haven't had a chance to visit my son at the academy, and I thought with the confluence of events that have been going on, I better drop by.
I'll wait until everybody's gathered around, and then I'll open the present that she has given.
Opening the present up, it does appear to be fudge from the Trismerian coast. I do know how you love your sweets, Caliban.
You know, it is a, well, it is a fond weakness of mine.
Weakness,
he
certainly
says-
not. Indulgences are just as important as rests.
He's absolutely right.
The way that sounded in the distance.
It's like
that
into
just-
the
that's just-
coffee cup, like it's like big bowl coffee cup.
Distribute the sweets equally.
She will then kind of notice Uther having a sneak around in the background and kind of look over at you, Uther, and say, "Oh, I knew there was one more. Uther, yes."
Busted. Just kind of has both hands up like he got caught doing something.
I read your paper on the Vangi. It was most interesting.
Thank you. Someone appreciates my genius.
It's a shame the information we have is so lacking. I'm sure you could do more with, well, more.
I spent months reverse engineering all of that off of a picture from some guy's memoirs of his time
You mean
in a fight once.
You mean Alistair's notebooks? Yes, I could tell.
So, how was your trip back to the city? Everything go well, I hope?
Yes, with all the disturbances, your father sent me a private armored carriage. A little much, but I do appreciate that he cares.
Sorry, could you repeat that last one? I blanked for a second.
Basically, she came back by armored carriage because of the problem with the trains, and mentioned that she appreciates that her husband cares for her safety. She looks at you, Clara, and says, well, not to dance around things, but we're to be family soon, are we not?
You are?
It, we were going to tell everyone at dinner. I'm gonna loop my arm through Caliban's, and Clara has a look on her face that just... How do I describe this? Her smile does not quite reach her eyes.
As Hira and Dafer are official Clariban shippers, I believe we would go for the bro fist. It is mandatory.
I hear it hesitates, not... Oh, yes, that's right, yes. Of course, 100%. Clara, as you look over the group, just from over at Hira's shoulders, you see a little Terminus peek up, just a shit-eating grin on his face, like...
Well, he knew in plenty of time.
Yeah. Your mother, suddenly looking quite aghast with herself, looks at you and says, I apologize. I received the news while I was abroad, and I got the impression that might be the last person in the chain to understand. I didn't realize that we were given some advance warning as a family. Your father left out such details. I will reprimand him later.
There's no need. I don't believe we were overly forthcoming with that detail either.
We were to keep things under wraps so that the less favorable within our family would not try to take advantage of such situations.
She shares a look with you of complete understanding without saying a single word.
I think... I'm not sure if this is something that I have to roll for, but, like... if anybody else wants to roll, what will we know that... what did Bahanir had, like, try to... I don't know, I feel like if there might have been, like, a brotherly spat between Caliban's dad and Bahanir over his mother.
So both of them definitely like your mum, we'll put it that way. But more than that, your mum is the more amicable one between, like, your parents, and has had more dealings with Bahinir. Like, after he was sort of, like, estranged from the family, she was the diplomatic one that did a lot of the conversing. So she knows exactly what he's like.
Hold on. Yeah. Then, I just sort of explained to her that since then this is out of character. The sword's once again named Wrath and Ruin, right?
Yes.
And Ruin's the one missing.
Yes.
Okay, and I sort of explained to her that still we're walking a bit of a tightrope because I'm also taking it upon myself to retrieve Ruin to not restore the family image, because I suppose it doesn't need as much cleaning up as it did before, but I guess put things to bed.
She looks at you and says, I was under the impression the babe was still whereabouts unknown.
Well, I'm not getting any closer to finding it.
Unfortunate, but I know you, once you set your mind to it, you will achieve what you set out to do.
Well, it keeps my mind busy.
She nods. She looks at Clara and says, it's a funny but a somewhat morose thing, but I knew your brother quite well. it is interesting to me that Caliban would find companionship with you. He was a bright man, in every sense of the word.
How did you become acquainted?
When trouble first broke out between the city and your home, there were, of course, talks and people that reached out to one another. I took a trip to the border and spoke with your brother there. He struck me as someone who had a very impressive future ahead of him. He was a little impatient, but such things are tempered by time. That he was lost hurt me deeply.
I appreciate that. I understand what you mean. He always felt like he was the smarter of the two of us, and the more... Well, it seems weird to say that I was the more reckless one as kids, but he was more measured. He had his finger on the pulse of things that I didn't even deign to understand as a young girl. And I guess that at the end came down to the only thing that kept me alive longer.
I wouldn't judge yourself too quickly in that regards, Clara. It is often the work of us older individuals to shield the young from such thoughts. No doubt your brother sought to protect you from feeling such things ahead of time. You acted exactly as he would have wanted you to. Know that in your heart of hearts.
I do.
Good.
Thank you. And I'm not talking down upon myself. It's just... It's strange to think how much things have changed in such a short amount of time.
You are too correct, my dear. Still, enough of this gloomy business. We're celebrating. Adhira, I wanted to talk to you about your home in particular. I'm visiting there in a few months, and I was wondering if you had any advice for me as a foreigner. I've learnt the language, but frankly, I know very little of the customs and culture.
I'd be able to share a few things with you.
That would be delightful. Why don't we all sit and have maybe a small picnic outside? We've got our fudge, we've got some tea perhaps. We can take it outside and enjoy the sun this morning and talk.
Of course.
Of course. Let me... I mean, if we're gonna go outside, prepare a little something. Shall be with you in a short moment.
Well, you can at least let me help you.
I think knowing the kitchen fairly well, if we have such a thing, such as like an appropriate blanket and so on, and like a basket that all could be thrown into, Jafer would just assemble that fairly quickly, add maybe like a few plates to distribute things out, etc.
Yeah, she'll help you cook, Dafer. She seems to be pretty proficient at cooking for someone who probably has waitstaff. But yeah, she's pretty well traveled as well, so whenever you're using stuff, she'll mention where she saw it used and things like that. She's one of those people that, like, she lives to travel, you get, right? Like, she's someone who wants to go places and see them and sort of experience it rather than just read about it. You can sort of see that, the beginnings of that with, like, learning languages and being like, but what does this mean in context, and like that sort of like urging her on to a place, and you see it with how she talks about all the things that you put out on the table in front of you, Dave. It's like memories of where she saw it. It isn't just like, it's not, oh, this is the third most expensive spice and blah blah blah. It's like, I remember one trip where I met someone while I was doing my tour, and like it would be more like personalized in that way about how she talks about things when she's in the kitchen with you. As you're doing that, Afer, she will say to you, I understand that one of your conditions for being at the academy was the sending of those supplies that I saw on the sort of shipping list.
Yeah, prerequisite in order to say replace for a time the resources that I could have brought by staying there.
I think that speaks to how valuable an individual you already are then. As some of those things are, I imagine, very important to them. And yet it cannot replace the missing of an individual, I suppose. They must be missing you dearly.
Can't say I'm aware of the exact value of what's being sent over. Those kinds of logistical details are more part of the village head in this case.
She smiles and says, I'm not speaking of a gold value, Dafer. I mean, medicine is the value of a life. You can't put gold against that.
True. Though I think what was seen in me is mostly the potential. I mean, it's fascinating to me with how flexible rune work is that it managed to fall by the wayside. There's so much you can do with it. It trails off a little bit.
She gives you a very soft, very motherly look. And she says, potential will be realized, and every step you take is important. You know, my first thought was when I read off that list of things that were being moved, I realized that meant that you must feel some sense of you must live up to what is being given. Does that make sense to you, Dafer? I mean, do you worry over, I guess, earning what is being given?
It's a sense, but not in the sense that I feel indebted towards what is being sent, but live up to the purpose for why I'm here. By the time I'm done with this, I need to be capable of a specific subset of skills. I need to be able to provide what I can for as long as I can, and able to secure the place as well as myself for as long as possible.
She smiles at you and says, as I said before, you're a good man, Dafer, but I just worry that you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Let yourself have fun as well, yeah?
I think Dafer gives her more like a melancholic smile in a sense. And you can try, or I try, but reality puts choices on you.
It does, but that's why it's even more important to take the fun and the break when you can.
Looking forward to doing some of that today.
Exactly.
There's reason.
I'm sure everyone's waiting for us.
Yeah.
She'll gather up the basket and start heading in. She makes sure that you don't carry anything, Dafer. She takes the basket from you and the basket, hooks it under her arm, and she's talking to you as she goes.
I think Dafer would like he would try, and like inevitably some of like the stuff that he had in hand just finds its way back into either the basket or whatever she's carrying as he picks like various things up. By the end of it, he's just bewildered and like how the fuck his hands are empty. It just happens.
And she like opens the door with her foot. She like lifts up her leg to like use the handle and like opens it without missing a step, in a sense, where like it almost seems like she's practiced it as she opens the door for you to head out ahead of her while still talking to you, like not looking away from you whatsoever, Dayfra.
Ivor is just confused by this interaction on a lot of levels, and like, I think by the time we're like almost halfway there, he's like, ma'am, I could be carrying that. Why am I not?
She hands you the lighter object, which is the blanket, as she says, "Go on, throw it out." And she smiles at everyone who's kind of outside and says, "Dayfra here is an excellent cook. I see you're in good hands, Caliban."
Of course.
I mean, he in particular could use a higher protein intake, but he's doing okay.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Sugar is not a replacement for protein.
Sits down with you under the sun, like maybe some like dappled shade. I think she would pick out in particular the tree that you had planted for your mom nearby, so like the shade of the tree for your mother is sort of like half shading where you guys are sat. She just spends some time sat with you guys talking about being an opera singer in Trismere, what she does with the money that she earns, basically like buys crystal vehicles so that supplies can get to places that are not on the tracks, which is why she kind of brought that up with Dayfra when she first arrived. It was kind of like fresh in her mind. She would share stories about Caliban growing up as like a stoic young boy, essentially, that he's, you know, always been this sort of like someone who took everything very seriously. Yeah, I don't think she'd be trying to embarrass you in a sense, Caliban. She just is very proud of talking about you. I think is sort of the sense that people would get. I don't know if anyone has any questions in particular for her or not.
I want to insight her.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not used to things being so good and so well. This feels weird to Adhira.
This is a intelligent and passionate woman, Adhira. That's for sure. You kind of get that from everything. She's obviously from circles of nobility, and you definitively pick up on that guard a little bit, right? There's that feeling of like, there are moments where she cuts off that expression to sort of like guard specific things when she's talking about Caliban's childhood. Sometimes she will switch from being like very open to then very guarded to very open again. One thing that stands out to you is how well researched she is. She read all of the papers surrounding all of you guys. She read Clara's, you know, she read Uther's. She made sure that she like looked up where Dayfra lives. She checked the shipping manifests of what was going to Dayfra's region and worked out. No, Dylan's paper did not escape her, so Dayfra, she had read that. She also worked out, because it wasn't like the things on the shipping manifest were logged as going to Dayfra's home. She worked out what was different and unusual and figured out what was going to Dayfra's home just from checking public records, basically, Atira. This is a very intelligent person who has survived for a very long time in a harsh environment and kept her happiness. That's sort of what, across like 2-3 hours of talking to Atira, that's what you're sort of able to glean. She would question you about your home, your customs, and you can feel her. There is a sense that she is very much interested in your home. She wants to go and she will go. But on top of that, she's interested in very slowly trying to get you to open up a little bit, Atira. Because she would be like, I understand you have a special dispensation for the lamp in your waist. Is this old spirit vessel?
As far as I know, yes. Been around for quite some time. Gathering dust before I picked it up.
Simply an heirloom of your people, I suppose. And no shortage of those wherever you go.
Yeah, you find a lot of things from the laments. Kind of lifts her arm and looks at the wraps on her hand, realizing that
those must be from an old funerary rite, is that?
They can be, but they're more renowned for falling off or being shed from the Guardians.
There is something I am looking forward to seeing. A description of something quite that tall, as I discovered when I went to Heaven's Pillar, isn't the same as seeing it. You really need to be up close to understand the scale of something so magnificent.
Hopefully not too close. They can be moody at times, but they tend to only target Ravagers and Scourge, but it's holy hell to hear it go into action.
One of those things where your heart beats quicker, but you're not sure if it's excitement or fear. I've experienced such things on some of the trains I've been on where the weapons go off and you feel the thud and the reverberation before you really register it as sound.
You've had a lot of experience traveling.
All over, yes. There were some places where it was difficult for me to travel to, however. There are many times where I have insisted on going to the Vangi border, but my importance makes certain dangerous locations difficult for me to go. With the train line being extended into Laments, I'm hoping that that will ease up. I'm already pushing my dear husband for permission, as it were. He is a worrying type.
Adhira leans forward, the motion almost cat-like. She sits cross-legged and keeps her hands between her. You don't like staying in the city very much, do you?
I like the city for certain amenities and joys, and it is where my dear Caliban and the love of my life is, but there are certain things out there that I do find more enjoyable than the concrete and the tall buildings, yes.
You felt you were born to travel?
A good question. I'm not one to believe in the idea that where one comes from or where one's born determines everything about them, but in the sense that it is something that feeds the spirit that is within me, then yes, I would agree.
I'm sorry, Alec, something about her just saying that felt very off to say feeds the spirits, but it's as it is. You're a very interesting person.
I think everyone is probably an interesting person if you try hard enough to get to know them.
Can she make a charisma check?
Just a straight charisma check.
Mhm.
19.
Something about it here softens a little. It's maybe at a glance imperceptible, but after the 3 hours of talking, as much as Adhira has incited her, this woman is able to tell that Adhira has loosened up, is not on guard.
Uther, she looks at you and says, it seems that we have something of a kindred hope regarding the Vangi.
Oh.
Well, clearly you have an interest in their artworks and their practices. Do you have an interest in them in a sense of cultural appreciation or a desire to open dialogue, or is this purely a practical endeavor of yours?
I kind of like chasing the threads of humanity's use of runes through the ages, and the way their guardian type constructs are operating is very different from how the most of the city's constructs are being used. So it kind of fell into a
Sort
couple
of a
of
professional
niche
curiosity
interests.
in a sense.
Yeah.
She nods. Says, I would very much like to find a way to reach out to them. There's been so much animosity over the years. Eventually, a hand has to be extended rather than, for God's sake, guns and artillery. I understand that there's probably a lot of bad blood on both sides, but it feels more and more as if we are beset on all sides by enemies. It might be nice to have a new friend for a change.
That kind of relation requires people to be willing to talk, particularly those with the ears of their communities, though.
That is in part why I'm doing these tours around Trismere. I mean, obviously, my art is most appreciated there, I understand that, but I do talk the ear off of any noble I can get a hold of about easing up the border and the hostilities between both peoples. It is primarily bad blood over raided farmlands and ancient squabbles that keep the nobles there from any sort of action that I would call constructive.
So you're willing to be or find that person on the Impression side? You have your sights set on somebody, on somebody else, or how to find somebody like that on the Vangi side.
I don't know what the first step would be other than to step across the river and see if they would talk. Difficult is dangerous as that may be, but I think that in the past such delegations have been well protected. I don't think it sends a very good message. Whoever goes across would need to be perhaps brave and willing to be in danger themselves to do it. Who that might be, of course, I don't know, but I can still hope.
Guess all we can say is wishing them the best of luck, whoever that ends up being.
Someone out there will do it. Have faith in that. Caliban, you're nigh unkillable now, right?
Wait, repeat that one more time.
She said, Caliban, you're nigh unkillable now, right?
Many have tried.
Respectfully, I've seen cockroaches die
What is your...
faster.
How good has your explosion resistance become?
You want to test that?
She kind of
How good has...
She just gazes at you, Caliban, and says, perhaps I should bring you a book next time. Of Vangi language. Maybe you should be the one to take this brave first step. I'm sure Clara would do it with you.
There are many books on the Vanki language, so I will defer to your judgment for what would be best for a beginner, such as myself. He sort of like bows his head.
Do you know what? I'll see what I can dig up on their culture, not just for you, but for Uther as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. I was sad to see your work sort of pushed to the wayside. Obviously, as we share an interest, but perhaps I am biased.
Is there no reason that?
Unfortunately.
Oh, go ahead.
Unfortunately, okay, we've understood. You go. We both wait like just long enough for the other one to give up and start talking again. So
Okay,
you go.
I'm gonna say, is there no way to figure out how to, I don't know, just like make it a little bit more public, give it a little bit more influence, or is that just a matter of public opinion?
I think the biggest issue we're going to have is everyone's going to tell me there's much bigger concerns in the world right now. And sadly, they might be right, but I'll see. I'll see what I can do.
If I had had more time to properly work out more of the inner workings of how your constructs work, it might have gotten more interest. I have barely scratched the surface on that little project.
Then I follow your work with bated breath, Uther.
And if we make our way there, we can always look into finding, like, assuming we get attacked sooner or later, we can acquire some of them on the leftovers.
If we're far enough in to be attacked, then we have much more pressing concerns than my academic curiosities.
Well, I agree, but it would be a nice side effect, I guess.
She lifts up the teapot, at which point she kind of like lifts off the lid and says, "Oh, we appear to be out. Clara, my dear, you wouldn't mind coming with me to show me where I could get more?"
Of course. Follow me.
And she will stand up and leave with Clara. Walking back towards the dormitory, it's quite the walk from the spot that she picked back towards the dormitory itself, which gives you quite some distance. As you two are walking together, Clara, she gazes at you from like the corner of her eye and smiles and says, "Can we talk frankly amongst each other?"
Of course.
I must say I was surprised when I heard Caliban had developed such a early romantic interest.
Is that just because of... Oh.
How did you find yourself pulled so inexorably towards my son?
Quite frankly, I didn't. At least to start with. When we were assigned to the same class, I found him abrasive and smug, and it felt like he had been handpicked to be my exact antithesis. But the more time that people spend together, you start to notice things. He does have moments where he's... How do I put this?
You can use out of character. I think you can use the Grawl as an example.
That's true. You two were aligned on that perfectly. I'll say that.
He just has these moments where it becomes clear that it's not that he intentionally tries to rile people up. It's just his understanding of emotions and things is very different to anything I grew up with. And he does care. He really cares. More than I would have expected. And I find that admirable. It's kind of like completing a puzzle. I feel like I've only just begun to scratch the surface of it, and I find myself inexplicably drawn to finding out what other pieces there are.
She looks at you with a very deep understanding of everything you've just said. She says to you, "Thank you for your honesty. I think there are many that will try and sugarcoat things. I must say, Clara, I am surprised, but at the same time, I am glad that it would be someone like you that has caught my son's attention."
Might I ask what that's supposed to mean? What is someone like me?
Someone who's brave enough to be honest towards me, and having read your paper, someone who cares just as much as he does. It takes a special kind of someone to look at the pests of our existence and say, maybe there's more to it than that. That wasn't missed. You're just like your brother.
I'm sure my dad would be gleaming to hear that.
I look forward to meeting him. I never met your father.
Honestly, I think he'll just be excited to have proper visitors for the first time in a long time, or an excuse to go and do something that's just for enjoyment.
That is true. Times to celebrate are seldom but important these days. My husband will attempt to push you on the idea of great houses uniting and the good that can be done, showing links between the nobility of Empress City and Heaven's Pillars, but don't worry about him. He's just trying to find some way to protect our family, to make sure it lasts beyond Caliban and into the future. Ignore him, or indulge him as much as you will. I'll deal with any small annoyances he might have from you not playing along perfectly to his tune.
I think, if anything, it's only fair that I make him aware that nobles back home doesn't mean the same thing as they do here. I won't deny that I'm from a very respected family, and one that I guess now in my country's history will always be quite important. But we're only nobles by virtue of our countrymen allowing us to be. So maybe one day my family won't be so important. It's more about the things we can do now. The future is always changing. You can't ever plan for it, not truly.
She heads inside with you as you're talking, and you guys like brew another pot of tea as you're talking about it. She just says, no matter what importance the people of your country might put on your family name, I would ask that you keep it when you marry my son.
You don't think his father would disapprove of that?
Oh, you most certainly will. But if he wants to truly show unity between these great houses, then he must understand the importance of your great house too. Do not worry, I have already thought deep and long about the reasons why it must be this way. But it is clear to me, Clara, that you are your own person, and that is perhaps one of the most important things I would want for the person who married my son. To be folded into just being his wife would be a fate that I I certainly didn't want for myself when I married his father.
If it's any consolation, you might be one of the most genuinely interesting and admirable human beings I think I've ever met in my life.
She chuckles as finishes up brewing the tea, and she says, "Thank you. I'm on my best behavior today. Caliban has such expectations of me."
I'll you know what? I won't read too much into that.
She finished up the sort of like morning with you till about noonish or something like that. She'd obviously at some point ask to like near the end, basically. She'll look at Caliban's like, "Might we talk in private, Caliban? Just before I go." And she'll like stand up and give a curtsy to the rest of you and say, "It has been a delight. It is wonderful to meet you."
I'll once she beckons, I follow.
She walks with you kind of through the school grounds with like people kind of gazing at the two of you as you walk past. She just says, "I'm not sure whether the feelings that you purport to have for each other are entirely genuine or not, Caliban, but I'll put it this way. I don't much mind either way, Caliban, so long as at the end of all of this, the two of you are happy. And I shan't say a word to anyone else."
Hard to keep things from you, isn't it?
We spoke for many an hour, and I didn't see you look at her once like you did that fudge.
God damn.
I'll need to get better at acting.
She looks at you and says, "Anyone else would be easily fooled, Caliban, but I have known you your whole life, and I will continue to know you beyond it. I'm very proud of what I've seen here today. I want you to know that."
Thank you. There is a reason for this.
I know.
He sort of just like makes a gesture, ruse.
Do you... Perhaps it would be better if you didn't tell me. I am better at reading than I am pretending. Either way, I hope to see you more. I'll be in the city a little bit more regularly at the moment. My opera tour wasn't just cut because of coming to see you. Things are a little dangerous out there, to be honest with you, Caliban, and everything's sort of heating up.
We're trying to. I know it may sound like a large responsibility for us, but we're also doing the best we can.
There has always been one thing about you that's been true, Caliban, and it's that you take your duties seriously. I know that whatever you're doing is for the good of whatever it is you set your mind to, and I trust in that.
Thank you. And,
Of course. Now give me a hug.
he gives her a hug. And he tells her, if there's anything you need from me, such as when I'm looking for the family's relic, or much as I am trying to solve the city's issues, I won't hesitate to help. It helps to keep my mind running just as fast as my metabolism.
She puts her hand on your cheek and kind of looks you in the eyes, Caliban, and she says, "Succeed or fail today, tomorrow, or the next day. I know that it's just the next step. always there too. You can ask of me as well. And actually, maybe I might need a lift up to the north of Trismere where your train goes next week. If you could talk to your instructor about me potentially being also allowed on board, that would be nice. I promise
I'll see if I can have that
embarrass you
arranged.
too much on the journey.
I'll see if I can have that arranged.
Thank you, my dear. Have a lovely Unity Day, and I will see you soon, I hope.
You have a great rest of your day.
Certainly shall. And she heads out to a waiting vehicle that will most likely take her home. To your father, to whom she will say, yeah, they seem quite genuinely smitten.
I am genuinely smitten with his mom.
Caliban's mom has got to
Clara going like, I want to marry into the Von Harlick family, but not to you.
Look, if she ever becomes estranged from your father because we're about to destroy your house or something, give her my number.
Clara, I'm not. Wait. Clara about to become Caliban's mom for all the wrong reasons.
I think she got away with never giving her name, but it is Yvette. So Yvette.
Okay.
As soon as Caliban rejoins the group, I'm just going to turn to the both of them, to Caliban and Clark. Can the rest of us be let in on the scam? If we're going to have to play pretend, it helps to know what the fuck's going on.
So, fake it. Just like to summarize this fake marriage scam to trick my bastard uncle. Mom figured it out quickly.
Don't you think that's a little extreme?
Don't worry, we let all the relevant parties that are currently enamored between us also know.
This is going to leak to the papers. Then, when you eventually break this off, that's going to leak. Oh,
Of course it's gonna leak. If Bahanir is gonna sell the information for money, he's going to do it.
It's fine, it happens. Well, I'm not going to say it happens all the time, but nobles are betrothed, most of them work, some of them don't. There's always arguments, we have plenty of other things going on. So, I'm hoping that after we manage to, put Bahanir in a pigsty for the rest of his life, that something will conveniently happen on a mission that forces us to explore different avenues in our life. Star-crossed lovers torn apart or something. They'll print it in the papers, they'll love that, and then everyone will forget about it.
Please don't accidentally kill Caliban just because you don't want to marry him.
That wouldn't be an accident. Also, I can never do that to his mother.
at this point, I think it's too late. I'm not sure we can kill him.
I was about to say, I'd like to see you try. No, seriously, I don't think I can die.
if I personally was to kill Caliban, I would push him down an escalator that was perfectly sped to make sure that he fell for the rest of his life. Like, I would push him down a set of stairs that would roll eternally.
That's not killing him. That's just some kind of like Greek tragic, ironic.
I think that's the best way to kill him.
And the gods'
right?
eternal punishment for Caliban.
We need
Just imagine Caliban happy.
You've got to get him like they did Samson. You gotta like shave his head and push him down some stairs or something.
That's not what they did.
That is what they did.
It kind of is.
You're missing one important aspect. Let's not talk about that.
Do you have the rest of your day? Do you want to go on your restaurant tour? Is there anything else you guys want to do that evening, or just sort of celebrate? Is there anything you want to talk about? I guess.
I think we have the restaurant tour.
Yeah. It was basically we have the Dual Cop restaurant, the Lamshi
Yeah.
restaurant, and the Little Roots Cafe.
Yeah.
Which I think
Little Roots
the
is
Little
actually
Roots Cafe makes.
Yeah, Little Roots is across the city. I actually forgot where it was because it's in I-1. But I mean, you guys can take the train to I-1. That's fine.
Yeah. I think Little Roots Cafe makes sense as either the first or last place on the tour.
Morty, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Heading to the cafe as a group, you would pass by some other students that are just like in Old Vic's conservatory, so you can see Mistle and her class are actually there with oh my god, Andrus and the rest of his class as well. So they're all in Old Vic's and sort of wave as you guys go past to the train station. Heading to Little Roots Cafe, I don't think anyone's been out this far other than Clara, not in the like northern I-1 district. So you guys would like find yourself going through some winding corridors that are like very reminiscent of I-2, but much older in architecture. The north of the city is, generally speaking, has been around longer than the south and the east. The city of Empress used to be like a weird oblong that stretched from where the Crystal Spire is, like and like branched towards Trismere first. It's like the oldest partnership that the city has, and from there it sort of blobbed out into more of a circle. Yeah, this place is quite verdant with plants growing over some of the buildings. It's old brickwork. There's some wood built into some of these older buildings that's still there, like old beams that are on the inside of the buildings and things like that. When you get there, Clara, having informed them that you will be arriving that day, without asking, Clara, a table would have been prepared for you that looks like it was reserved without you kind of saying that you would like that. You can see that the table's been like decorated for guests of honor in a sense, with like plants from from across the road sort of like hanging above it in different places, and as you arrive, Clara, you recognize the boy who was like asked to help you with transporting some stuff before, who kind of like sees you and jumps up and says, well, welcome to Little Root. Please come inside, and kind of like gestures for all of you to follow.
Thank you. You didn't have to do all this, by the way.
My gran said it would be good for us too. She said that you were... never mind. And then, like, shows you to the table and, like, has you sit down. Gives you a menu of, like, little cinnamon snacks and things like that from home, and teas made from flowers from home and things like that as well. Yeah, other than that, everything is like pretty calm and quiet in there. People are coming in and out, and a few people look at your decorated table, but they kind of get like, oh, they probably paid for like some sort of like special service for Unity Day or something like that. They aren't like, that's clearly Clara Lux Maddox or anything like that. Like, but yeah, you guys kind of sit at this nicely decorated table, and you're all brought things, and Clara, I guess you'd probably have to like forcibly pay in a sense if you were going to like just leave money behind, because they would do their best not to have you pay for this, Clara.
I'm actually gonna like, I'm gonna give my card to Adhira. Look, if I try and pay, they're gonna keep turning me down. This woman is lovely. She won't let me pay for a thing. Do you think you could accidentally pay by tapping my card?
Oh yeah, most definitely. This is also nice.
Thank you. I thought it would be, interesting if you got to use your skills for a non-crime, a reverse crime, if you will, to, balance out.
You see the corner of like Adhira's smile just sort of like falter a little bit. I'll see what I can do.
I just
Why are
realized.
you looking at me like that? I'm giving you an opportunity to morally balance out all of the not so great choices that you've made with this skill, and you still get to practice.
Very well. As she plays with a little cinnamon snack and kind of tips it off of her fingers so it drops into her vessel.
It decays instantly as it falls in, and you just hear a soft, "Ooh, nice."
So
Getting up to the
yeah.
the till, give me a sleight of hand check with advantage.
If I don't do this, it's gonna roll poorly.
The guy at the counter is distracted talking to you, Adhira, so it's very easy for you to get away with this.
Okay.
As you slip the card and kind of pay without them really noticing. That said, over in like as you do that, Gloria, who runs the store across the way, kind of walks in and sees one of the group of people, especially at this table at the till, and she kind of walks over to Adhira, puts her hand on her shoulder, and says, no need, please sit down, not realizing, of course, that you've already done
it. Adhira sits back down, and as she does, just kind of glances over to Clara, like, wow, you are not kidding.
I really wasn't.
She kind of looks at the table and says, thank you all for visiting, thank you, Clara, and she would introduce herself to like each of you in turn as well.
Lovely place you got here.
Thank you. It's my daughter's tea shop. I actually run the flower store across the way.
Oh.
Lovely.
But yeah, she'd talk a bit about some of the flowers that were in the tea that was brewed, and then eventually make her way back across to her store.
Actually, Sam.
Now, is the flower shop strictly stuff from Heaven's Pillar, or is it like
No,
worldly?
there's more than that there. Yeah, she has mostly on display stuff from Heaven's Pillar, because that's kind of what this area is.
Identity is.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Clara obviously saw. I don't know if she would mention, but there are like cactuses and other flowers in the back in the green room, kind of.
Yeah, if I can see Adhira looking, I'll mention it.
Think they have anything from the mints?
They have a lot of stuff in that greenhouse at the back. You'll find something.
Sam, vegetation-wise, where I'm from, what does that generally look like? Is it basically like semi-dense forest of like smaller, medium-height trees and like, I don't know, a lot of thistles, or like rough brushes or something?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's a little bit black foresty, so like thistled berry bushes and things like that, evergreen trees like pine needle type things. You'd also find, like, apart from these occasional copses of trees, these like little outcroppings of trees, that it would be hardy grass, so it's more like rocky terrain, but with like tufts of grass sticking out of it, kind of like a steppe type of plant life.
Okay.
It's like it's like verdant in patches, I think is how I would describe the area you're from, Dave.
So none of the plants particularly are like beautiful in themselves. They're just rough environment living, I guess, or just big.
I think it's beautiful in like the sense of uniformity. You know, like when you look at like a vast flatlands, there's a sort of awe and wonder and beauty to it, but it's not like beautiful in like a color and in like a variety sort of sense that like the underbrush of Heaven's Pillar might be, or something like that, or like Trismere's hillsides, which are just green with like grapevine and things like that. It's more the scale of Dulukop that sort of has the awe and beauty to it in terms of its natural givings.
Given that, I don't think like such plants are, let's say, commercially viable. Does she still carry like, I don't know, Dulukop thistles or something?
She would absolutely have like little evergreen trees that could like live in a pot in someone's room or something like that. The kind of thing that will like eventually need to be planted outside, but for in a sense kind of like a bonsai tree, but a little bit more Scandinavian in like a weird way, like a little Christmas tree you might keep in your room.
You can bonsai anything. That makes sense.
Yes, you can bonsai anything, but I'm speaking from like a more traditional, what you would imagine a bonsai tree to be, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
Atira, heading across. Are you looking for anything in particular? Like, are you looking for flowers? Something like the cactus that's in the middle of the room, or
Flowers that would do well here, but like I could plant.
it would need to be in the greenhouse, but you could, because you do have that. You have that little like underground greenhouse area, but you could plant them in there if you wanted it here. They would not survive just out in the open, or they might right now, but when it comes to winter, gone. They just wouldn't make it. Yeah,
Dead.
yeah.
How much? What are the price ranges?
So there are some plants in here that go for like 2 gold pieces. The cactus with the lotus flower on it is listed as 500 gold pieces, so it goes between those two numbers.
I'm not willing to make that big of a dent in my finances just yet. I'll take.
Expensive cactus.
It is.
I'll take a lampshade flower, but I will stop and admire the cactus for a minute or two.
As she walks in, kind of with the small, they're like patterned flowers that look a little bit like the irises of someone who might have more amethyst eyes. In Laments, this kind of like a visual representation of like someone from Laments, their iris basically, but in a plant form. She brings that out to you, and she sees you looking at the cactus, and she says, yes, perhaps the pride of my collection. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. Where exactly from the midst did it come from?
I believe it's from the deepest parts of what I believe your people call the hot sands. Inhospitable to most, but this plant is able to sort of gather moisture from the air itself. I believe that your home has certain structures that do the same, no?
Yes, every settlement has its mechanism.
This one is unique in the sense that this flower it's bloomed will stay there for 13 years. It will remain bloomed for that long, and then only after that long does it fade away.
She runs a finger down the side of it carefully. The cactus part, not the lotus. How have you gotten it to survive out here?
In part by using the greenhouse. In another part, she looks at you and kind of taps the side of her nose and says, something special from home.
Interesting. Tyr weighs what she said, but doesn't incite anything, doesn't try and figure out her trick.
Keep your secrets.
Sam, I think I'm gonna have to raise 500 gold.
I mean, I'm shocked that you didn't do anything whatsoever to try and work out whether Caliban's mum was any sort of mark. You never once asked me if she was holding anything valuable or wearing any kind of
I'm
jewelry.
pretty sure Clara would have killed her.
I think that's the first time Atira's met someone rich and she was just like, nah, this is alright, we'll leave it.
I think it's because Caliban's mother did the horrible bastard thing of acting like a mother to Adhira, and it just shut her down.
Faults
To
in
be
her.
fair, asking if Caliban's mom had riches on her is basically the free space.
If I wanted riches, I'd come at it with like the hair razor and just sold her locks to a charity. I would have been making bang.
Adhira going up to Caliban and saying, "Hey, Caliban,
I could
can
do
I
it to Caliban.
Caliban, can I have 2 bands?"
But yeah, I guess you come back with your little potted plant, and you guys are heading on to the next location, heading back to I2, or you got something more?
I am going to catch Clara at a moment where Dather and Caliban have moved ahead. So, we want to talk about chances to prove abilities and skills. Me and Dather have an opportunity for tomorrow. We're going into the sewers. Find some place unsupervised to make our own. Uther thought we could make use of your knowledge with slimes.
You're building a secret base?
Yes. Tries to find a word around it, does not.
Okay. Why the sewers?
Glom and I have been doing it. We make use of one of our old hideouts, make sure they're kicked out. Uther knows about these paintings that the one-armed man has been using. Thinks we might find one there.
I see. Sure, I guess. If you need help, I'm not going to turn you down.
She makes a motion as if she's going to say something else, but swallows it and nods before moving on.
Great. So,
Okay.
what do you actually need from me? Anything, or like just to turn up?
Your slimes. Wait,
Great.
your skill with slimes.
Sure. I'm still mad at you, by the way.
I know.
Great. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Where are you guys heading next? To the Laments place or to the Dudicot place?
Laments. Let's get our meats on.
Yeah, descending underground is a place where sand has been packed into the walls and inscribed with runes. There are decorations hanging from different locations. There's a few people down here, but not many. It's mostly to yourselves when you get there. And food is sort of like the food that will be brought to you would be like things hanging from hooks that are like spiced meats and other bits and pieces like that. There is a small pit in the middle of the table that's usually lit with a fire, but it's too warm for most people these days. Even though this space down here is a little cooler, the fires aren't lit today. Yeah, you would be brought. I guess as well, do you guys want to drink like alcohol? Because there's quite a few Laments alcohols that are like fruit spirits, basically.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, like very fruity, quite strong, kind of grappa-ish alcohols, I would say. Yeah, in which case those would be brought like very bright, very vibrantly colored, very alcohol-y smelling drinks that when you actually drink are more like hits of desert fruits, very sweet.
I am definitely indulging.
Together with the David just goes. Together with the saltiness of the meat, this herb sweetness is. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
It's impressive to have so many flavors all in one place and not have them actively fighting each other. It's a new experience for me.
Why? They're in the center of this pit, like, or they're to the side of the pit. They're like a couple meat pieces that are more strangely, like dark redly shaped, not shaped, colored with from like spices. What is that?
Spicy is what it is. But would I be able to tell any specific combinations?
Give me a perception check.
Go gadget, analyze culture.
11. Having drank a fair bit, what you can smell right now is sweet alcohol. So you're like looking at it and like leaning in and trying to, and it is just, as you said, it is colored in a way that lets you know, like in cuisine language, that it is very spicy, and that's all you can really work out from looking at it without tasting it.
It might be too much for you, but I will order a slice of it. How much?
I've had most of my lunch. I could at least try a piece.
Okay.
Give me a con save, Dave. And
okay, it would.
I just realized it probably have cost about 12 gold for the first place you guys went with Clara, and probably 22 gold pieces for the 5 of you here.
I'll cover for here.
Okay.
On save though.
14. Dafer, it is decidedly spicier than like one of the things before that you had, but it also doesn't completely destroy your mouth. You can still taste some of the complexity of flavor behind it. It's like if you had some time and ate this every often for a while, you could tell how it would be really good, I think, by the end of the experience you're having.
But I assume, particularly given this is a summer day, we're basically Dafer is definitely sweating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Whew, yes. I mean, this is good, but
You're getting better.
One of the wait staff brings Dafer a yogurt kind of drink thing that's supposed to suppress spicy foods without being asked. Just kind of walks past the table.
Appreciate it.
It's sort of like milk, yogurt, honey, sort of like mixed together.
Oh, that helps.
Are you going to survive it?
I think so. Give me a couple minutes.
Heading to Mountains Peckish afterwards, if no one's got anything particular they want to do here. Uther, sitting down, looking at the menu, you've probably got the most experience with this. There is one thing in particular on the menu that takes you by surprise. They have something called Dragon Kissed, which literally is like something cooked by lightning. So there is like a delicacy on Dudukop Mountain where food is sort of put on a lightning rod and cooked with the strike, and then the outside is sort of taken off and the middle is cooked, so it like chars it in a sense. But there seems to be a subsection of the menu where they have this listed as available.
How?
Do you want to ask, or do you just sort of like glance at this menu and sort of ask the question?
No. No, I'm looking at the menu and I just say how, and I go, Dave, are you seeing that?
I was wondering what that was. One thing, Sam, I would assume that like the lightning cooked stuff would not be that well known.
I don't think it would exist on the plains. Yeah, it's definitely a Dudukop City thing.
I thought that was just advertisement talk. It seems kind of outlandish to use lightning to cook something.
No, I mean, it works. It's just up on the mountain we have, an abundance of the stuff.
Wait, you truly do?
Some might say too much.
Okay. Lightning cooking, then. That's new one. What is it like? Well, I guess I should try it then. If I come from there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a popcorn chicken style thing where they've got small pieces of chicken that were supposedly struck by lightning and then breaded, battered, and fried.
Can I sense the scam in this food?
Give me a perception check as well, then, Uther. That seems to be the name of the game today.
Woo! Shit.
I'm
rolling bad today.
The one thing you can say, Uther, is occasionally when the kitchen door opens and closes, you can smell ozone.
Someone back there shocking, grasping the chicken.
Unlimited chicken!
You're taking live chicken and putting it into a lightning bender of some sort.
I think like part way through the meal, like Uther would excuse himself to the bathroom, and on the way back he would like glance into the kitchen and see just what exactly is going on.
Yeah, just give me a stealth check. I think we'll do a different check this time.
Can I fumble a +10?
Not in this situation. 16's plenty though. Being sort of as casual as possible, walking past the door as it opens and closes. You see that they've got an array of Empress City Peacekeeper shock batons, like the kind of things they're using for like policing, set up in a way that you can drop them through them, and as it passes through, each of the batons shocks it. So basically, they're replicating it by using what appears to be stolen guard weaponry that they're just using to cook this food.
That is so jank.
Massive respect. +1.
Oh man, the health inspector would shit himself.
But yeah, that's what you see as you pass by the door and head back to the table.
I'm just going to sit down. After we leave, I'll bring that up.
Yeah. I think 11 gold. By this point, you're probably not eating as much, but like, yeah, you order some bits and pieces, and it is mostly like mountain goat type meals, but with like some interesting spices, and there's a lot of use of mushrooms and other things as well. It's like a very robust food with some interesting spicing. Mountain goat's cheese would be definitely a big thing of theirs as well.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
And like, it's quite nice. It's not my favorite, but it does hit the spot sometimes, especially in a salad, I will say. I think, oh god, it completely distracted me. There was something I wanted to say. Oh, there's a lot of like focus on unique salts. You know, like sort of how someone might have like Himalayan salt or other things like that. That is one of the unique features, and they do like salt crust bread and things like that. So it's like very salty outer shell of the bread.
Ooh, Dafer would be missing the fuck out of that. So Dafer is definitely, I don't know, buying like 5 loaves just for like the next couple of days.
In which case, if Uther pays 6 gold pieces, then the other half of the gold that Dafer has docked can go towards getting a couple of loaves of bread as you leave.
Basically, I still pay 11. It's just that I pay an additional 6 for the bread.
That's exactly it, yeah. Your meal comes and goes, and you sit and enjoy food together. Eventually, leaving of the evening, you do have a message from Axel that says basically like, let me know when you're back.
So by
He in
the way,
our
I
chat
figured out
group.
he has to be.
What?
Oh, It's
What
like
was
an it depends kind of situation.
What was your question, by the way, Uther? I missed it. Is he what?
Oh,
Was it Dafer's question? Sort of blended.
Dafer was asking if Axel was in our group chat for the class.
I imagine you probably have 2, one with him and one without.
Yeah, I was going to say, God, I fucking hope not for the one that we use all the time.
We have a cowards chat.
But yeah, he would drop like your with him group chat messages like let me know when you guys are back.
So by the way, I figured out how they were doing the lightning. Hilarious. Absolutely jank. That place is getting shut down in a month.
What were they doing?
You know the shock batons that some of the security people have around here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a ring of those set.
Hey, that sounds like an interesting setup to get lightning into food.
I mean, it works. It was close enough.
In terms of like, I don't know, the food itself, in terms of like the lightning bit, that seems more like a, I don't know, fanciful preparation of that kind of thing. I don't think it was like that much different to just, I don't know, frying it.
It adds to the taste a little bit, but
Was it? Does it really?
I imagine it would caramelize it at a certain level. I think the hardest part would be knowing how much of the outside to scrape off. That's probably the hardest
trick.
Part of, the trick of cooking with lightning. As someone who's never done that, but that's how my brain makes that.
I mean, I imagine
Thank you
it's
for the
like
clarification.
Yeah, I've never used
blast.
shock batons to cook popcorn chicken, but that's how I think it would work.
Like a flash sear type.
Yeah,
deal.
exactly. It's got the same feeling of like dropping something into a super hot pan. But obviously with that, it's not so bad that you'd have to scrape off a layer. I'm not like taking the top inch off of my scallops.
So what's Axel want?
He basically just asked for you to let him know when you're back, but it's up to you guys whether you would like say you're nearby or whether you would go to his office.
I'll go ahead and bite that bullet and say that we're back.
Okay. He just sent a message and it's like meet you in the dorms. When you guys get back in, inside would be Verity with Luis, and the 2 of them are kind of sat chatting. As you head in, Verity looks up and says, I hear we had a visitor.
Yes.
Clara
can tell you all about her.
I love her.
Most of the academy's been all aflutter about it. Apparently she gave some sort of seminar in the morning.
She's very passionate about her interests.
Spoke to me in perfect Lamshi.
Raises an eyebrow at that. Said, I knew she was professor at one point, but I didn't know it was of that.
I mean, she speaks a great many languages. I'm not sure if it was just Lamshi.
No, she speaks mine too.
And yeah, they would say, well, obviously she speaks Triton, as she does most of her operas in that language, I believe. At this point, Axel kind of like walks in, takes a look around, and then heads towards the sofa to kind of sit down with a big, like a big document pack type thing that he slips onto the table with sort of a half thud as he relaxes.
How thick?
It's about an inch worth of paper, like all told, you would say, but it's inside another package, so it's sort of slightly inflated by air, so maybe a little bit less than that.
What's the mood looking like? Happy? Unhappy?
His expression is kind of like, how do I put it, oddly professional.
So I assume this is not you moving your office into the common area then?
No. This is all the details that you will need for your job, your next mission.
Oh, goody.
We leave on Monday.
Ooh. That's
2 days Monday?
As in, you have tomorrow, and then Monday morning we leave.
Well, good that I already started preparing something. That's quick.
That's a quick turnaround. But
Well,
okay.
we'll be taking the Naiad Storm, and we'll be able to use the express line to really get the engine working as much as possible. But we won't be able to take the train all the way up to our final destination, which means that we're going to have to take a hike through the woods for a little bit. Maybe a few days' journey on foot there and back. So we need as much time as possible.
This just keeps getting better and better.
Caliban's mother was also wanting to ask about hitching a ride with us.
Raises an eyebrow, looks at you, Caliban, says, is that right?
Repeat that one more time.
About your mum wanting a lift to Trismere, like northern Trismere, basically.
Yes. I hope that won't be too much of an issue.
He nods and says, we need to do a stop day in Amirage anyway. She can get off there if that's north enough for her.
I'll make sure to ask her when I have the time.
Okay. While we're in Amirage, it is... I will be confined to the train, as I am not entirely popular in the location, but you'll be allowed to wander as you see fit.
Gotcha.
That said, Atira, you will be representing the Academy, and it is a wealthy place for aristocracy. Best behavior.
Unreadable expression, but there is a tenseness to her shoulder that's just like opening this document, spreading out the papers, anything new or interesting at first glance?
Investigation check. You get lost in pictures of Amirage. There are sketches here, and you can feel the money falling off of the page.
Wealthy.
Yeah, you're seeing sand imported from the Laments deserts, from the most dangerous parts of it, where the sand is finest, blown into colored glass, made into sea life and sea creatures that lines the streets themselves that are decorated with seashells imported from across the sea and laid into the roads. It is such a rich place that simply getting a knife, getting down on your knees, and prizing sections of infrastructure up would be worth money back home.
Okay.
as you're
That's
looking,
as hell.
as you're looking at the document. I don't know if anyone else wants to look through for anything else.
Amirage belongs to Trismia?
Are you asking Axel, or are you like asking what you know yourself, just so I know?
But I know myself first.
Yeah, give me a history check.
I also have another question.
There we go.
Yes. At 9, you know that Trismere has 3 regional capitals, so like each of the 3 great houses has a capital, and you've heard Amirage mention this like also being very important, but you don't quite know why, Dayfra. It is in Trismere.
Okay. So remind me again, why was I feel like Amirage had some greater relevance to Trismere as a whole. What was it specifically?
Axel says, it was built by the 3 noble houses as what was supposed to be a capital city. It turns out it's poorly located for such a job, so it sort of faded from that purpose, but it has retained much of the interest of the 3 great houses. It acts as a sort of, should we say, cultural center.
That's a word for it.
It's a lot of money, and a lot of aristocracy goes there to have fun.
And the trade city we are needing to go to, you're not directly connected to the train line?
They're not, no.
Really?
No, the train line heads straight north into Laments. We'll need to get off just at the actual tree line border. I mean, there isn't even a stop there. We'll just have the train come to a stop and top off. But from there, we'll be walking through probably the wood line for about a day and a half to reach our destination. So we'll be spending the night a couple of times at least in the woods.
Is there a pull-off for the train, or is the train just going to have to do a few loops and wait for us?
The train is in the using the express line, and we have permission for that on the return journey as well, which means it can just park on the express line, as there won't be anything else on that track.
Okay, I didn't know if the express line would be, actively in use at the time.
Not for heading as far north as we are.
Okay.
My question is, do we already have our loadout for the train? Like, what cars will be allowed?
Axel says there's no real reason we won't be with it for the journey, as it were. It's been outfitted with a couple of return pods for any divergent miasmic we might find or anything like that, but beyond that, the train is currently being used mostly for actual cargo transport, as it's taken a job moving stuff up into the Heavens Pillars while we're doing ours.
Do we want to plan out? Go on.
We'll be on our own, no support whatsoever at here.
Do we want to plan out the method of attack for when we find our target? Who deals with it up front? Who takes out the small fry? Looking between the rest of the teammates.
I mean, it's pretty much either Caliban or myself that typically takes on whatever. or tries to mitigate whatever the big thing tries to do.
We have about 4 days on the train as well. You'll have time to talk if you want to on the way.
Yeah.
It's still your weekend, but I thought the sooner I get this information to you, the sooner you can look through it if you want to.
It's a bit of a shocker that it's really that close.
I apologize for the late information, but you know how things are with my work.
Okay, and Sam, remind me. Deva would recall this. The mission exactly itself was taking care of V-Rexes, right?
Yeah, taking care of V-Rexes, seeing if they're the reason that the Ravagers aren't acting the way they normally should. That's basically the primary concern. Axel has tacked on the fact that he would like to go to a supposed temple of the goddess that Elias has discovered is in the mountains nearby. And if you guys have time to check that out, that would be good.
And I recall. Okay. And Ravages were weak to fire or something. Let me double check.
Fire.
Ravager.
Yeah.
What was the V-Rex weak to? I forgot.
Doesn't like cold.
Cold.
Cold. Okay, so fire and ice is what we need.
Why is there not the cold? Well, even if it was a cold smite, I don't think Adhero would use it.
You guys could.
I also
Well,
don't like cold.
There's a fire smite, and if you have sorcery points, you can make it an ice smite.
Are you talking about Flame Strike?
Flame Strike is
no.
not a smite, but that would definitely do very,
Can
very
you imagine?
good. You hit them and deal as much damage to yourself as like a pillar of fire just erupts at the point of contact. Yeah.
Look, a self-immolation is a form of protest.
That's so true. You're so right.
So true, bestie.
What are we protesting?
Taliban's political career is looking bright because he could self-immolate, survive, and at like 7 p.m., like, all right, good day, gentlemen. I'll be back here tomorrow.
I think it.
I don't know that.
That kind of lessens the message a little. I think, yeah.
I don't know. I'm here. I'm debating now. Like, does that lessen the message, or is it? Oh, this motherfucker is just going to keep coming back and doing this.
Yeah, he's sort of aura farming in a sense.
Never found it hear my DM say the word aura farming.
You absolutely did think I would say that.
He's hip and cool with the kids.
Yeah, I know words.
Is there...
Yeah.
I have several questions about some gear, but I'm sure we can go over that Sunday.
But yeah, Axel will just kind of look at you all and say, sounds like you had a busy day today.
We celebrate.
Was nice. I learned that in Dual Cop and like that he's looking at with her. They are apparently frying with lightning for reasons.
It works. Why are we surprised that it
Hey,
works?
if you
Vesuvius
if you ever want to
definition of
recreate
works.
it, I could get Cerberus to do it in the kitchen.
Wait, hold on before I take off for 2 minutes. Why didn't we introduce Cerberus to Caliban's
Look, I wasn't sure how this was gonna go. I'm not entirely sure I wanted to be like, oh, by the way, I'm marrying your son. Also, hello, it's me with the dead brother. By the way, have you met my chimera pet and my slimes?
Adhera
Thank you, noble
does.
lady.
Adhera does her best Clar impression, and gesturing to Cerberus says, "We've already adopted."
Damn it! Defeating that little bastard salmon. You set me up. I set myself up, actually.
Yeah, none of this was me.
You've played yourself.
I think
Damn
Axel
it.
would like. I think Axel has grown to quite enjoy Cerberus's company as well. So like, if Cerberus was around, definitely like, you know that like when a parent's like, we're not getting a dog, and then you get a dog, and they're like super into the dog. That's
Dad and the dog.
Yeah, that's definitely Axel with Cerberus, where it's like, just like giving him scritches absent-mindedly any time that there's an opportunity to do so. He says, we'll be taking Cerberus with us as well, yes?
As opposed
I
to
assume
leaving
so.
him here unattended?
No, we have staff to look after them and a place to keep him if we want to, but I assume, Clara, you would like to take him along.
Yeah, he's not staying behind. Not when I'm going so close to home. He needs to see the trees, the real trees.
We're going to hear that from you a lot this trip, aren't we?
Maybe.
I think it's all it's come up at least once a conversation since we've been told about this mission, I think.
Look,
Oh,
I'm just worried
forgot.
that you think I mean like, oh, that's an oak tree with like a couple of extra branches. No, like you don't understand.
She didn't bring it up as much when she was busy fawning over Caliban's mother.
To be fair,
That
Caliban's
woman could
mother...
distract me from anything.
Caliban's mum kind of fawned over the trees anyway. She literally mentioned them in the, like, if you want to know the scale of things, you have to go there. Much like the trees of Heaven's Pillar, they're real trees. Like, she literally, like, said that. But yeah, Axel just says,
As opposed to illusory trees.
well, I am thankful to have someone who knows the terrain very well with us. I don't have much experience orienteering through the tree line myself. Not like that, anyway. I understand that the Lord and Lady of Choir also possess those, the blades that you produce in Heaven's Pillar, the Perfect Thorn Blades, or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Perfect form blades.
not to brag, but Heaven's Pillars is kind of the reason that rapiers got popular as a noble weapon. We make them by batch. You forge the sword and you stick it into the trees, and the sap imbues them with magic to make them stronger over time.
I understand that there's one place in particular in which there's over 1,000 sword endy in time stored. I'd like to see that one day.
Well, chances are we'll have to go further in at least at some point. Be that for an actual mission or some half-baked diplomacy.
Maybe I'll leave my scythe in one.
You have to leave it for a reasonable amount of time.
It's probably a faux pas as well. Scythe takes up a lot of space on a tree.
That kind of is the reason why they're so thin. Needle-like. You can fit many into the bark that you can access.
I'll leave my scythe delicately leaning against one. And
I mean, I could just tap the tree for you at that point.
just give my scythe some chance to hang out with the other dogs at the park.
David just looks at his armbands and then just shrugs.
David puts his arms in a tree for several months, pulls them out.
Hey, you've got, like, alchemical knowledge. Maybe if I do tap a tree, we can, I don't know, turn it into a weapons polish or something? I mean, you'd have to be pretty religious about applying the polish every day, but in theory...
This is
I
how
mean,
we
I
get
need
a
to
+1
figure
weapons.
out. Need to figure out what it's made of, how to conserve the effect on it. It would be a research project.
I have a. What if you quench with it in the forging process instead?
I'm not really the person to ask.
That's kind of
It's
what's
also-
happening, but yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, but it's happening more over time, giving it the ability to seep in. If you quench it, it means you're at like high temperature going in, so that high temperature might change the structure of the sap, which would change how it affects things. It might create, I don't know, some carbonized layer that the actual effect cannot go through, so you need to research that, and so on and so forth.
Axel just stands up and says, "I can see it's got you all aflutter, and I'll leave you to it."
Oh, come back. You're missing the brainstorming session.
The less I know, the more you can handle yourself this time, it would seem.
I think
He hates us.
he's
Nothing
gonna have
new
to be
under the
spending a
sun.
few more days with us.
I'll be there for you still, if you need me. But I don't think you will. I've got every faith in your abilities.
You've known us for 2 months. That's nothing.
I've known you for several raids, warehouse attacks, attacks on criminal organizations, dealing with depraved, dealing with spirits from another realm. I may not have known you very long, but I've seen you deal with far worse than some miasmic in a tree line.
Yeah, I prefer to refer to it as 2 months because that strengthens my point better.
It certainly makes you sound more correct, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Hey, Axel,
Yes, I do.
maybe you should adopt me.
Whoa,
Where's
you
that
can't
coming
just
from?
like drop that out of nowhere.
She laughs.
I
What's-
think you are both too old and I am too immature for that.
Says the
You'd be a
guy who
horrible
looks
father
like
to
Josh
never be
Brolin.
around.
Looks can be deceiving, Atira. You seem to be an innocent young woman.
Rude.
I have every appreciation for your abilities, and I'll see you tomorrow. And then he heads out of the door.
Speaking in both character and to you, my fellow players, Adhira's suggestion is she believes she would excel the most at taking out the Ravagers or whatever other things that swarm us during a confrontation with the V-Rex.
I mean, Dafer is not
Because-
going to disagree. Dafer also has a permanent a cold aura he can trigger for like permanent staggering of that thing.
Would that actually stagger me? Like, if I'm in his cold aura, even
Yes.
if I don't take... Oh, yeah.
If you take cold damage, then yes. So if he triggers it and you're hit, I'll get a point.
Yeah, the V-Rex, the smaller one that we thought was... Its constitution was a bit higher than what she can, like, stagger at this moment. So, she's going to focus on what she does best, which is, using AoEs and high violence against everything smaller than her.
Atira will rip
My
the
loadout. My
I
loadout
did have a
can
question
pretty much.
about this. Go on.
My loadout can pretty much deal with any of them. I don't think Dafer has a particularly benefit about any of them. Well, I guess his aura is nicer when he's surrounded by Ravagers and so on, but it doesn't matter too much either way. So his primary target will always be the V-Rex, and if he gets surrounded by Ravagers, that's nice too.
I might trade out haste for elemental weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gives you what, +1 and an extra d6 of a damage type of your choice. Pretty good.
Or I think.
D4 as of the 14th edition. Did the 20?
I might just be
Nope.
wrong. It's not a spell people take very often, I would say in general. So I might just have a
Plus 1 d4.
Yeah, I
You sure?
get that.
Yeah, +1 and 1d4.
What is the flame thing?
Flame orb.
Wasn't flame spear.
Now, for
That's the one that
the...
bounce into stuff.
Yeah. You said a lot in Baldur's Gate. I think it was like Sammy's favorite spell.
Oh,
Wait, what was
Uther has it.
In Baldur's Gate, it's a little different though because it like genuinely works like an actual like the kind of thing you would roll down a hill lit on fire. It's so much more fun to see this giant hay bale of death rolling around the battlefield than it is in my mind in like D&D, because in my mind in D&D it's like an orb of fire that's just really hot instead of this like huge ball thing. But,
Pocket sun.
Yeah.
Uh,
What were you saying, sorry, Tara?
For the purpose of using my wraps, I know I mentioned it in the time skip, but have I worked with Terminus long enough to be able to use the putrid form of summon undead?
Yes, you definitely have.
Okay, then I will take that and implosion, and I think sometime later on Sunday I'm going to look towards getting an explosive. I ask the tree expert in the room. I probably shouldn't get any flammables, should I?
Well, I mean, you can. You just have to be a little bit careful. And basically, it's not as bad as you think. Bark is quite difficult to set on fire. It's leaves that usually catch. So, as long as you're careful, it shouldn't be a problem. Although if you're just doing it for a source of fire damage, I'd suggest you just let Cerberus help you.
I'm thinking of something that I can get everything that falls into implosion with, so a lot of wiggle room. But I think I'll load Comson up with a few more specialized spells than just the average smite.
Makes sense. It's also a pretty good idea, I'm going to assume, that anytime we need to fight, I'm just going to be posted up to the closest branch I can get that's 9 miles off the ground.
Looking forward to using that new weapon.
It's perfect timing, really. I mean, a height advantage for an archer on their home turf. This is like the best demonstration I'm ever going to get.
I'm imagining Clara using the like prehensile tail of the whip to climb as well now. Like Indiana Jones does the swing across gaps, just being able to like lift the whip up to get to a slightly higher branch and like swing your way up. That would be so sick to move around like that.
That makes a lot of
can't
sense.
believe she's absolute Catwoman.
I don't think I showed Yvette's art, but that's now in the list of characters under nobles under Von Halik as well. She looks a little younger in the art than I would like, but it's very hard to find, like, not completely old women and not completely young women art. It's so hard to find somewhere in the middle spectrum of that. So.
Well, Bafnir certainly has good taste.
Can you not just use Willow Schnee?
Yeah, that's probably pretty close, but she's slightly more
Willowifies winter.
She's like slightly less relaxed than I would have liked, I think is what I would describe it as. She's got the right aura for like when she's going for something that's very I'm at a dinner and I must present myself as a noblewoman sort of vibe, but I don't want that for her main art. Is there anything people would like to do for their Sunday? Obviously, there's sewers to look at.
Before the night ends,
Yes.
Is the infirmary open?
Yeah, it would be. Infirmary is one of the few places open 24/7 on the campus.
I've lost some HP in that last fight, and I would like to keep my hit dice.
Yeah, I think it's 1d8 plus 3, if I remember off the top of my head, that you can get healed at the infirmary.
Oh yeah, I forget about this every time until someone brings it up. It's actually you're actually incentivized to let Clara patch you up because I'm actually better than the infirmary.
Clara is.
Well, I didn't want to use your resources until we get out and about.
Clara
was my thought.
Get supplies from the medical center here at the moment, so that's fine. It's only when you're out in the wild that it matters.
Okay, well, fine. Either way, I need healing.
Yeah.
You can get 8 of it.
25 plus 8.
Isn't I feel like there's more to healer. I think it was more than just 1d6 plus 4. I think the math consisted of like 3 things.
Oh, it's plus additional hit points equal to the creature's maximum number of hit die. So it's 13 because it's 8 plus 5.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah, another 5 on top.
As soon as you said that, I actually read the text. I was like, oh yeah, it's right there.
oh man, full HP. I don't see that often.
Kara takes care of your wounds that evening.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone for anything else, or heading into Sunday?
I mean, we're getting, but by the time Sunday is over, we're getting a reset on our resources anyway. So
Yeah, but they might run into trouble in the sewers. Is I think what Uther's thinking.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. As I fall asleep, I will activate spirit form again.
Okay. You drift out into that incorporeal form where you've got more control over what you look like than you're used to, and it takes a little bit of time to readjust to that again.
I have 100-foot radius of movement, right?
You most certainly do.
Does that get me up to the roof?
Yes.
I will float up to the roof and look out over the city and just... I was never good at it in a physical body. Too fidgety. I am going to try meditating here. Like this. And go on.
Give me a wisdom check with advantage. Nine. You are right that there's no desire to fidget as you're up here at Tira, but what you do find is a losing of the sense of the edge of yourself. And as you meditate, as you go into the idea of stilling your thoughts into trying to think of nothing, there is a weird connection between what is your thoughts and what is your form in this state that starts to thin yourself into a sense of like almost thinking yourself out of existence. And there's like that feeling where you wake up and you were falling in a dream and you suddenly like jolt forward. You suddenly jolt back into like a full physical form, and the panic sort of deforms it a little. And you find that like there was almost like you didn't know what was gonna happen. Like the idea that if you stopped and you truly weren't worried about anything, you weren't thinking about anything, maybe you would cease to exist in that moment.
That's terrifying.
As you sit on the rooftop and sort of grapple with that, it's almost existential in a sense, but in like the most real sense you've ever experienced in your life. You see the city stretched out in front of you. You see the life and the activity that continues even as you rest. Vehicles moving to and fro on raised highways, trucks of crystal moving backwards and forwards. You see the flow of activity in the dead of night, and as your body sleeps below and as your mind remains active, you find more meditation in the pondering of the lives of those people that you see drive by in the night, thinking about how far out they extend and what they might touch, than you do in trying to quieten everything completely. You slip more into a meditative state when you are concentrating on following the connections between everything than you do nothing at all. I think that's sort of what you discover in the spirit form as you sit there at here.
I think she has any practice now.
Sunday morning comes. There is no grand fuss outside, but you can hear the sound of like Seth in the dorm room, probably playing a game of chess with Noctis, as you've gotten so used to. Tamara sat next to them. Just the general life activity that over the last couple of months you've come to really sort of take as normal. This is like a normal Sunday morning as you wake up. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna start prepping for getting into the sewers.
You start getting ready, putting on clothes, putting on some spelunking clothing rather than something nicer, I suppose, Atira.
I think all of my nice things are to spelunking clothes.
I got you, yeah, like some like not finery so much as well-made clothes, yeah. Right, Atira spent some money getting ready for that. Uther?
How early are we?
As early as you want to be. Sunday is going to be a bit loosey-goosey on the time frame, so just let me know what you want to do.
I have something I want to do, but I think it might be better suited for after the sewers.
Okay. So you're just getting ready for the sewers this morning as well?
Yeah.
Dayfra, you're heading off to... Do you want to go to the workshop, or are you using your private workshop for the tinkering with the cold rune?
I have a private workshop?
Well, private as in there's a
The
workshop.
dorm's private
Yeah,
workshop.
there's a workshop here in the dorms that you can use rather than the one that's like with the workshop students.
I just go to the dorms workshop and tinker around there a little.
Heading in, you spot Dylan, who like clears out some workspace next to him and says, "You working on that rune of yours, the cold one, yes?"
Yeah, it has a pretty interesting ability that I wonder if I can isolate that somehow.
Well, enjoy the spot. I'm heading out with you Monday or tomorrow by now. I just got told.
Yeah, we got told yesterday. That is a bit abrupt, to say the least.
Your class always has the strangest assignments, I swear.
No, it's not just me that feels that way.
He says,
I mean, it got better over the past 2 months, but I swear, it's coming back. I can feel it.
we'll have a dogmatic automotive engineer with us on the train as well. Some guy by the name of Vanith.
Okay.
He's supposed to be overseeing everything, so I've got less work to do myself. At least on the way there. I think he's stopping off somewhere in Trismere.
Okay. Second interest. Don't we stop before we reach Trismere in order to get to the place? Oh, let me check the map again. I don't have it in my head.
We'll be heading pretty much straight shot north from the city all the way, but we'll stop off in some...
All right.
We'll stop off in some big city, and Vanith's stopping off there as well. I think DA's got a satellite office in Mirage or something like that, I think it's called.
Yeah, Mirage. I remember now. Okay.
He's apparently one of the chief engineers that worked on the Naiad's Dawn in its first instance, so I'll probably try and get as much information out of him as I can, because there's going to be no one better to question.
See, yeah, well, I guess it makes you wonder what he'll be doing up there. But I guess it's just nice to be able to speak more of the technical details with one of the people that actually built the damn thing.
It'd be nice to know what he came across as problems on the way, because all I see is the solutions. I'd like to know why they were implemented, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, of course. You wonder, hey, what made you think going down this very complicated route? And so on.
Yeah, I see why it works. I just don't see why something else wouldn't have. That's the.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done the job. But
And
I
then
wish
he'll
you the
just
best.
sit beside you as the two of you work, kind of having done this for quite a few like nights and days for by now. Like you being in the workshop is a fairly common occurrence, and having worked so closely with Dylan before, seeing the two of you sat side by side working is pretty normal for the people who kind of walk around this space and use it as well.
Also make sure that rune-wise, my damage types are now fire, lightning, that I have access to.
Caliban, do you want to spend time with anyone this Sunday, or up to you what you want to?
What do we got on the docket? We're still in the.
You're still in the academy right now, yeah.
Hold on. Is Dafer busy with anything?
Yeah, he's in the workshop at present.
It's not. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you want to interrupt.
I just noticed that, like, in one of the prior chats you brought up. Hold on. I'll DM you real quick.
While you guys are conferring amongst yourself, Clara, you're heading with Adhira and Uther into the sewers, I believe. I don't know whether they would just like come grab you or.
I would assume so. She's just going to hang out until they come together. Like, she doesn't have any real plans for today.
Hanging out in the dorm room waiting for Adhira and Uther, Seth would look at you, Clara, and say, "You couldn't help me out, would you? I'm fed up of losing."
I'm going to peer over his shoulder.
Yeah, you can see the board looks pretty even, but Noctis is setting up for like a sort of disguised attack on his game that you can tell Seth has just completely missed.
Okay. I might have some information that can help, but what do I get?
I've got some new paints. You can share.
Sold. Look at the pieces here.
Looks down at his
You
board,
need to be careful, because those are sneaking up on you.
softly curses and continues to play the game. It says, "Did you hear we're chaperoning for Atira's lover boy this go round? That'll be under our jurisdiction, as it were."
For real?
He nods and says, kind of like a TA type thing, I guess, but we're heading back out into the wastes, and Andrus and his class are coming with us.
What are you doing? Just routine sweeps?
You remember that excavation we went to a couple of months back? There was some cult that was out there?
Yeah, I have vague memories of it.
It's been mostly cleared out now, but there's some places around the outside where Mazmix still push through the kind of border defenses that were set up. So we're heading back out there to try and help keep that more contained and see if we can't find a more permanent solution.
Sounds kind of cool.
Should be fun. I think normally it would just be handled by a year 2 class, but since, it's only myself and Delphin, a little extra backup goes a long way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
I hear you're heading sort of home.
Sort of. As close as I can reasonably get.
You got plans to visit home anytime? I mean, I don't really know much about your situation, despite knowing you a decent amount. Never really talked about about what you're allowed to do or not?
It's a little bit complicated. There are still parts of this city that I'm not allowed to go into. So, I think they'd be a little bit reticent to just send me home.
Yeah, you might never come back, and then I'd lose every game of chess I ever play. Checkmate.
I think they would grossly misunderstand me. I'd definitely come back.
Yeah.
I miss home. I miss it really dearly, and a lot of people there, but there's, at least at the moment, important things that I can do here, and I could only do them here. So, running away just to renege on a promise that I threw myself into wouldn't stand to gain anything from that.
Yeah, I think a few of us can identify with that feeling. Oh, looks like you're, I don't know, whatever the hell you guys are doing this evening, but it looks like they're ready.
We're building a fort.
He raises an eyebrow at you and says, I promised you paints, maybe I should have promised you cardboard and blankets.
I might take you up on that. I don't know. I'm consulting. It wasn't my idea.
Well, I hope you're getting paid. I had to pay for
I'm
helping
sure I'll
chess.
get something. I'll see you later.
See ya.
Let me know if you win.
I just did. He kind of holds up the piece
Oh.
and smiles.
I'm gonna stick my head round. I'm sorry, 2-on-1 isn't pretty fair, but gotta go.
Noctis kind of looks at you and says, I'd rather lose closely than win by miles. Thank you very much for the interesting game. Seth pouts. The three of you heading towards the sewers, is there any sort of particular method for this? Are you just sort of sweeping the area looking for a good spot? What's the vibe?
I think Ufa has the mind for this and has things figured out.
Oh boy. Okay, well, here's the question.
Yeah.
How close do you want to try to put it? Because the closer we get to high traffic areas, then we have, concerns to think about on that front.
Far enough away that we don't risk somebody just stumbling upon it, even if we hide it, but still close enough that we can get there rather easily. So I think finding that sweet middle ground is going to be a big part of it.
Oh god. Oh no.
So
The load time on the sewer map.
I think my primary interest would be to sort of run this site kind of skill challenging. If you tell me what it is you're trying to do to secure a location or set up something, and then we'll make a check and we'll sort of do it that way rather than just purely trying to work through it logically. Just give me one step in what you were doing to try and secure it, and then we'll go from there. And if we need to, we'll set up a clock and you guys can work on it across some more weekends when you get back from your mission or something like that. That makes the most sense to me anyway. So, for example, Uther, if you wanted to try and find a good spot for it, you could give me investigation or survival, and you have the map, so I would give you advantage on that check as well.
Alright, then yeah, I'll start with that then.
Yeah, what check would you like to make? And you're just using the map to try and find a good spot, yeah?
Yeah, I'm using the maps. I think once we get to the spot, Uther would then use the rune to see how active of an area it is, so to speak.
Okay. Give me investigation or survival at advantage. Okay, so 16 investigation to find a good spot. Adhira, is there anything in particular you'd like to do to try and assist in this? Whether it be trying to find some narrow spaces to move down to see if there's spaces hidden in different locations, motivations, or trying to think about
Either-
it from like a more crimey standpoint as to like what yeah, you know what I mean.
Probably one of those two. Like her going down and bending down like a tight passageway always works. But she's also had some history with, getting a read on people. So I was wondering, trying to use like insight or something similar to put myself in the mind of someone who regularly goes through this. Where would I look for a secret base or a hideout?
Yeah.
And then try and find some place that is not that. Like, try and suss out where people are going to look the least.
So there used to be a skill in 4E called Streetwise, which has basically been split off into survival and insight now. So either survival or insight would be a fair check here, I think.
I'll do insight.
Okay. 6 on insight. Okay.
The further we go in 5e, the more we long to return to 4th.
And Clara, I mean, are you looking at this from like an animal handling slime point of view, or is there some other way that you would like to assist these two in trying to find a good spot and setting something up here?
I was brought on to commune with the slimes, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask, like, the nearest slime, I suppose. I'm gonna ask it where there is the least foot traffic, or where there is the, like, basically just areas that either people don't go or that are like tucked away and are quite difficult to get to.
Yeah. Give me an animal handling check.
27.
Making us look like scrubs.
So,
Yeah, I know, right?
Uther finds a nice general area. There is an access way above you guys that's sort of like built into the side of a building, down a side alley, that should be locked, but upon trying the door, it is not. So you've got easy access to go down. Once you get down there, Atira, you find a few different side passages, but you're having trouble kind of working out which of them aren't being used or not. And that's where Clara is able to sort of work out by pillaring and having some like exchanges with the slime colonies down here, and just kind of noting where the slime colonies seem to be more dense, because obviously that is an indication in itself of where the traffic is less, because it means people are removing the slimes from that location less. So working together, Atira, you're able to then, like, working with Clara, work out one of these little side routes that dips into... It's a chamber that once upon a time probably used to be open to the street. You can see it's been bricked over above, and it was probably like a storm overflow drain at one point, but that system, Uther, you know, has been completely overhauled, and there's like an entire section of the sewage system down here that has like priority tubes that funnel stormwater back towards kind of like the lake area. It's separate to the main sewage line. So what you
So
find...
this is like the two big flat areas, then like the big dip in the middle type area?
Yeah. And what this is, it's got like, the best way I can describe it is it's kind of like an oubliette, so it's kind of like a dungeon you would drop someone into, but the entrance passageway is halfway up the sort of hollow tower. So you've got... It's like a big cylinder that's maybe 2 stories tall and about 100 foot across, that would have at one point been like a big reservoir for rainwater. It's somewhat dry, but not perfect. There's no slimes in here because none of the debris would wash down into it. There's no way for the sewage water to kind of get in there. It's just humid and damp. The brickwork seems to be in good condition. It's a bit mossy and stuff in places. I think one of the biggest issues is there's like no easy way to go down or up. Like you'd have to put kind of like a structure or scaffolding into this place, Uther. So it's a bit more material reliant than you were maybe initially
hoping
hoping
for.
Yeah, you'd have to sneak a fair bit of material down here is the biggest issue you guys are sort of seeing with it. But otherwise, it's kind of perfect.
So, other than material cost, this one looks pretty good. What do we think?
Walks forward, putting her arms out, kind of like turning in place. We're gonna need to get a few air-controlled crystals. Some stuff to dehumidify.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play with it, something for that. So
Yeah, I think this is probably, at least for now, the best you're going to get. It could do with some furnishing, and there are some
Couch.
slight structural concerns that I have, but we're in the sewers, so there were always going to be at least slight structural concerns.
feel free to air your structural concerns.
Well, for instance, do you know what's on top of us right now?
No.
Uther is like frantically like flipping through like map and city map and squinting at it, trying to figure out where we are in relation to everything.
Give me a survival check. No advantage. Like, you've got a map to know where you are underground, but that doesn't necessarily line up to your understanding of the surface right now.
Hell yeah. Blind survival check. So trained at those. That's
15.
about average for what I've been rolling today.
So, you guys would have come out of East Academy, and you would have head kind of north past the embassy, and then curved slightly to the right. It's not an area you go to very often, but it is sort of on the way towards the main sewage office that you guys went to with, I think that was with Seth way back in the day. I can't quite remember which year 2 you went down with, but it was either Seth or Tamara maybe. Or both.
No, wait. Hold on. I'm looking at the sewer map on our wiki, trying to figure out, and I'm trying to figure out which way it's oriented.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me bring it up in front of me, and then I can give you more.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out if we're going up towards the exclusion zone, or if we'd be going down more towards the station.
Yeah, would it go on past the station? So, here we go. Yeah, so you see
overflow?
Yeah, you see where the stacked sewage, the old industrial sewer area is?
Yeah.
You're sort of like midway, like kind of near where the R is, but closer to the storm channel. So as far as you're aware, on a 15, you're probably underneath or like along the road of some of like the older warehouses and things in this area.
Okay. You said near the R, where industrial would be?
Yes. So like as close to the storm drain as possible there. So like north of the R, heading up towards the actual storm channel, like off of that.
Okay. I'll just add a temporary marker there.
But yeah, you're sort of like near warehouses. So if you go up, you'll probably come out like either in a warehouse or like on a road next to a warehouse. You're not sure which on a 15.
Then it's gonna kind of squint at the two maps. I think we're dealing with warehouses.
See, that's part of the problem. It's just, it's all very well and good things being clear down here until someone wants to bring something down here, or
One second.
the glow might bury through the ceiling.
I mean, if the glow miter won't bury through the ceiling,
Look, like I said, it's not. I don't mean that this is a bad idea. I just mean we need to have an awareness of where this is in relation to other things.
yeah, I will. When we are not pressed for time, I will definitely go on a scouting run up top and try to figure out. I need to figure out a good way to have a marker of some flavor.
Yeah. But other than that, this space looks fine. I can ask the slimes to clear out some of the rubble and other bits and pieces. And I guess, like, anytime you're coming down here, if you could just bring them something, it will encourage them to stay on side instead of move in.
Sounds easy enough.
Little quid pro quo.
Yeah, it's... I mean, at their base, they are just kind of, like, very instinctually driven creatures. So, as soon as they associate you with bringing them food if they do a certain thing, just be careful that you don't feed them while they're in here. Make sure to take them outside before you give them whatever you've brought. Otherwise, they'll
Yep.
associate your actual space with the feeding.
That makes sense.
I would say the slimes did a lot of the heavy lifting on finding this place. So, Clara, do you want to be the one to give this a name?
It's not my idea. I just came to help.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea is eventually to like get everyone involved at some point.
Fort Connor.
Terminus pops his
Don't
head
push
out
your
and
luck.
says, "The well! Call it the well! We're in the well!"
It's giving,
Just
I don't know, falling into Wonderland.
Adhera's stuck in the well!
imagine like this
fell down a well.
frog head, like just sort of popping up out of the earth, just like the well.
Bark, bark. What's that terminus? Bark, bark. And here fell down a well? Bark, bark.
Yes, exactly, Uther. You understand.
This sounds like some TV show I never watched because I grew up poor.
Yeah, and that's why you're in the well.
People throw coins in wells, it probably would have been quite profitable.
Maybe
Jumped
they
in the
But if
well
you're out
because
of the
people
well-
jumped because people put coins in there.
Do you think Amirage has any wells?
Terminus shrugs and says, "City was built after I was locked away. Never seen it. Looking forward to it."
When were you locked away?
A long time ago, Adhera. A long, long time ago.
That's not the year.
Do you think I
The calendar
memorized
system
the
has
calendar?
probably changed 6 times since this dude was locked
I
away.
genuinely don't know what year you think it is.
This guy, I think this guy was locked away before calendars were invented.
Yeah, the year is 20XX.
Shut the fuck up.
He also shrugs his like, time has no meaning anyway. I mean, maybe for you.
Wouldn't the passage of time just be like a cosmic rot?
That's what I mean. It's kind of eternal for me, right? It just happens. over and
Okay
over.
then.
So
Yeah.
by that logic, can Terminus control time?
What? I mean, I can control time by either doing stuff or not doing stuff, and when I do stuff, it goes quicker.
Are you trying to find chronomancy, Uther?
The most powerful magic tool, love. No!
This
You
Jedi
think
sound?
love stops a mother and child from being iced during a war?
There's powerful magical orders, chronomancy! No, you guys spend some time. So, Caliban, did you work out what it was you were maybe working out with Dave?
Just heading over to see him at the he's what did he say? He was at the forge or
He's in the workshop, yeah.
workshop, okay. What are you up to, Dafer?
Hey, Caliban. Let me stretch real quick. Was just about to head out, really. Was a little bit of working on something, but I'm not gonna get finished today with that anyway. To go sparring a bit.
It's been a while since we sparred, isn't it?
Actually, I'm not sure if we did ever since that first day that pretty much ended with us both on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. Wanna try for a repeat? I'm mostly working on, I don't know, fixing some of my issues with stance. I keep not having my posture as well as as I should.
Realizing you can't always rely on brute strength.
I mean, yes, I've been trying to work on that for a while. It's just it typically falls by the wayside when other things are a little bit more pressing.
Fair enough. I was gonna ask. Well, aside from you, I have. Hold on, I'm trying to think.
Hmm?
Okay, I did spar with Adhira. That was that one time. That was more of a skill check thing. Now this is me speaking out of character.
Caliban is dueled with, sparred with Adhira, Dafer, Mistel, Andress, the girl from year 3, I want to say Akira,
The one that almost beat my ass twice, but I managed to.
Yeah, in a sense, you managed to survive against her, yes. And I think there's one more that I'm forgetting, but those are the ones I can remember off the top of my head.
I haven't fought Clara, have I?
Nope.
Oh. We'll have to change that soon.
Nope.
Come on.
Fighting against the fight against Clara would look like this. Clara is nowhere to be seen for like, I don't know, half a minute until she's in the perfect position and then just puts out the damage equivalent of a ray gun.
He parries the ray gun.
I think the fight between Caliban and Clara would just be how many times can Caliban regrow a limb.
The answer is 7.
It's like just like a pile of arms on the ground. So yeah, I guess is the question, Caliban, are you sparring with Dafer after Dafer has like finished up on whatever he's doing in the workshop, or were you gonna try and find somewhere else to?
Well, the fact that he mentions needing like additional technique, I would say, well, I'd be more than happy to offer.
On solid. Particularly like noticing when I'm fucking up posture, which I think would be not too difficult for Dafer to accidentally do.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Since it's new to him.
More of a like. It's not like you two kind of like going all out, because Caliban's supposed to be able to spot and kind of like remind you of when things are going slightly awry of what you're trying to do here. Dafer, give me an acrobatics check.
Okay. Character sheet open. Acrobatics there.
11. Yeah. Caliban, as you're fighting Dafer, he's gotten a lot better than the first time you two have fought. But obviously so have you. You're seeing a lot more variation than these like big, heavy haymaker swings and things like that. But there is a lot of times where like Dafer will still be reckless with his attacks, which leaves him very open to, especially your style of like counter striking. But it also leaves him slightly off balance because his positioning is like his center of gravity isn't quite over the top of the like where his base is, where his legs are, and things like that, Caliban. So you'd be able to point that out and kind of instruct him on that, I would say.
I'll do just that.
Posture improvements.
Caliban, what is it you're trying to get out of this sparring? Is it purely instructing Dave, or is there something you're working on as well?
So, out of character wise, down the line, I'm gonna want to pick up resilient for and then just add like dexterity to my saving throws.
So instead of using your blade to parry as much, we're sort of like more ducking, dodging, and weaving as much as possible here, Caliban. Is that the sort of... You give me a stealth check as you're trying to sort of evade the attacks here. 14. The two of you work together and have probably one of the more productive sparring sessions of your life because you both have such a perfect weaving of things to work on, and you're both able to help each other out, with Dafer like able to focus on these quicker, more precise strikes that are harder for Caliban to react to, and Caliban able to stop the flow of combat and kind of point out to Dafer in turn where things are slightly going awry. You spend a few hours in the like dojo area in conflict with one another, and by the time you realize that you've been going at it for like quite some time, both of you able to pull on like a very deep reserve of stamina. So you guys practice for a very long time without ever really realizing that you've been stuck in this flow state for a while. When you finally drift out of it, you do see Mistel and Andrus are kind of sat nearby. They seem to be sharing what appears to be like biscuits that you would normally like dip in tea, like an amaretti style biscuit type thing, and they've just been watching you like basically spar for a while as they sat nearby. As you two sort of come out of it, Andrus will say, look at you two working together so well.
It was on the first day. It was on the first day that we were both on the floor.
Mistel says, I remember I watched that fight from the classroom.
I think many
Or
saw the fight from the classroom.
Or was I also sparring that day? I can't remember. I just remember seeing the two of you fight. I will say...
Yeah, it was...
My memory of that was you two being a little bit more combative than you were today.
I think we both have tried to prove a point, which I believe remained unproven.
I don't even remember.
Go on.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what the fight was about.
Mistel kind of quietly says to the trying to prove a point or trying to prove something about herself, like very quietly under her breath, like, you don't know what that feels like. Andrew stands up and says, I've been looking for Adhira. Have either of you seen her today?
I think I saw her get ready at one point for some trip somewhere. I don't think she's around at the moment.
I tried sending her a message around the crystal tablets, but wherever she is, she's not receiving anything. Anyway, I guess I'll just... Well, you guys heading back to the dorms? Mind if we hang out?
Sure.
Nods. Says, carry some of your stuff. I'm sure your arms and legs feel a little shaky after that.
I mean, You mean these? And I like point at the armbands around my wrists. Typically don't get rid of these.
I mean, you've got your bag with your drink and things like that. I can at least carry that.
Fair. Yeah. Thanks.
Kind of lifts it up, and you can see how much he hates carrying things. He just sort of like, he's doing it because he's friendly, but he hates having any sort of luggage at all on him at any given moment, Andrus. Mistor kind of walks next to you, Caliban, and says, I can't believe I missed meeting your mother. I've heard so much about her.
He had expedited her arrival. If I had known sooner, I would have brought you over.
No, it's fine. I just I heard about it afterwards, and I was away working on my own stuff in the Sages district. I just missed opportunity is all.
Oh, there's always next time.
You don't go home very often, Caliban, I noticed, despite it being in the city.
I've grown accustomed to this area, and I find my time... Well, I find my hands busy more often than not.
Yes, nods her head. Says, I think I'll probably head home during winter solstice. Have you ever been to Dudukop?
Don't believe I have.
Would you want to come with me?
Sure. Yes.
That's... I mean, obviously, anyone is well, more than welcome to join us. I just thought I'd invite you.
1 second. Dafer actually wants to try and figure out if Mistle means that one, or if she just wants to be alone with Caliban, or would prefer that. Let's say it like that.
13. You get the feeling, if nothing else, the invitation for everyone else was an afterthought, Dafer. Whether she wants to be alone with Caliban or not, like whether she's dead set on that, you don't pick up on, but you definitely pick up on the fact that the thing that she would be most interested in is Caliban being there.
It's fine. I think if I made my way to Dulacop, it would be to see my family for a bit. So I wouldn't want to see Dulacop proper.
Yeah, of course, Dafer. That makes sense to me. You guys head back to the dorms and hang out. Eventually, Atira, Clara, and Uther would return. I guess as Atira, you walk in, Andrus kind of stands up and says, there you are. Wonder where you've been off to. I sent you a message, but nothing seemed to get through.
No signal where I went.
I won't ask.
We went down a well.
A well?
Yep. To the well.
Terminus just like Pez dispenser head tips back. Well.
Slide up to him and wrap an arm around. So what do I owe the pleasure?
Heard you guys were disappearing tomorrow morning.
Yes, I was thinking about coming and visiting you. I've been lower to only where he could hear, albeit much later.
He laughs and says, well, I beat you to it.
Is he implying a sleepover, so to say?
He's implying that he thought of you before you thought of him, idiot. But he stands up and says, we could go talk more privately.
Okie dokie.
And then he will slip off with it here.
Young love.
Says the woman engaged.
Yeah, but I'm not
random
even
with the
engaged
boy.
in a political marriage. I'm engaged for a scam, and not like tax purposes scam, like an actual scam.
Oh god, ISO, you killed my login info.
It's all good, I think.
No, not just that. The server is currently just turbo fucked, and I can't access it.
Oh, okay
I
then.
think
I tried
he's-
to relog in and it wouldn't let me in.
He's dead
I was about
right
to say
now.
delete your cookies.
I think that is a good place to leave it off, with Monday being us setting off. I don't know if there's anything people would like to add for the end of Sunday, though, before
I don't necessarily need a scene, but I would like to go about facilitating acquiring something from Dulacop.
Yes, you wanted to talk to Suda, I believe. She
Yeah.
does go out that way. Suda, when talking to her, she's kind of an investigator in a sense. She likes to look into things, and she has heard that maybe you are good at procuring information. She will do you a favor if you will do her a favor in the future, so to speak.
That is very agreeable.
Okay. In which case, she is heading to Dudacop for her next mission. Whatever it is you would like delivered will be waiting for you when she returns.
I appreciate her assistance on that front then.
Okay. Anyone more for anything else before Sunday closes? Cool. In which case, we'll end the session there.
Do students get to stay on campus during the winter solstice?
Students can, they don't have to go home, yes.